fucking
Oh
pathetic.
my god, folks.
Hey guys, are you ready for the Rekieta segment?
No.
Oh, buddy, here's a retard alert for the fucking Rekieta segment. It's the Bodycam Apocalypse Edition. Holy shit. This whole saga is insane. And we're
It's
gonna
ridiculous.
Break
This is crazy. This is Twin Peaks. We're in Twin Peaks.
If you're watching, you gotta smash that like button, hit subscribe,
Ring the bell.
make sure to ring
Or
that
else.
bell.
Or else we find you.
Let's start up with the lead up to the body cam and the spurging
Okay.
that was going on. So first we have Rekieta seething at Josh.
Okay.
There was a lot of this. Rekieta was really, really mad.
Yeah.
He was really fucking tilted, buddy. All right, so let's have a look here. He's saying, Noel has the biggest parasocial relationship with me ever. Poor girl, down bad.
Oh.
I don't really know if he knows what that word means. I don't think it means what he thinks it means there. I think he's a bit of a fucking retard.
He says Null is an F slur.
Null is an F slur who is scared to transition. He is addicted to Shota. When he doesn't get his way, he chimps out in the way he would describe a minority.
Okay.
So somebody really took a pee in Rekieta's Cheerios that morning. He woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Then he says he's a maladjusted toddler whose ice cream has perpetually fallen on the sidewalk.
Okay.
Now, I think that one's real projection on Rekieta's part, to be honest, because that describes his mindset perfectly.
Every day. Every day.
And then Crash Bandicoot, rightly, he goes, the body cam's going to be released soon, isn't it? And then Rekieta's like, Josh promised you all 2 weeks or he'd throw a tantrum. So I guess we'll see. And then Rekieta's saying there's no reasonable interest in the release of the body cam.
Yeah, I'm sure
Which
there
is, by the way, because Rekieta told everybody that there was a conspiracy against him in Candy Yoshi County and that the government officials were out to get him. There was cocaine planted. The officers put cocaine in his daughter's hair. There was all sorts of evil, insane, Joe Biden was behind it all talk.
Now there is a conspiracy,
now
but it's reversed.
Out, actually, there is a conspiracy in Candy Yoshi County. There is, guys. Apparently, in the end, it turned out that we need the body cam released because there is a real conspiracy foot. Here comes Rekieta. He says Null is a baby. Watch him throw a tantrum in a few days. He was just going off tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet about Josh. And then he says that it's Josh who's obsessed with him. And then Josh's response to this was just lol. You know, Rekieta's just losing it. Then he goes, someone should count the voice squeaks when Null throws his temper tantrum.
Let's count the brain cells you still have there. Fucking Rekieta, you bum.
You count him on one hand. And then somebody goes, there is something really bad in that video. The cops were too retarded to catch it, but it won't get past the Kiwi's autist gaze. And Nick knows it. That's the only reason for this level of meltdown.
Whoa, meltdown? Enjoy Josh acting like a baby.
Like a baby. Okay.
What?
So that was just oh, there's even more seed. Holy fuck, man. He was really on one. So then the Pants Maestro goes, apparently the government is siding with Nick and knee filings per Ralph. Rekieta goes shrieking tantrum. I love how Ralph's the authority on the filings that are going on. And Rekieta goes, enjoy your $5,000, Ralph. Josh, you're going to have to pay up, buddy. You're going to have to pay the $5,000 to Ethan Ralph because Rekieta's winning, buddy. Then Rekieta's saying it can't be Freedom of Information acted. See, his temper tantrum starts. Where have I been screaming? He screams all the time. Buddy, you've just been screaming and seething into the void on Twitter all
death upon us every day.
He repeats the names of everybody on his death list before he goes to sleep at night. Then this is where he goes insane. Then he goes, where in the Constitution do you find Null has a right to jerk off while looking at Nick's children?
Stop!
Well, I asked Barnes a similar question. Where in the Constitution does it say you're allowed to feed your daughter cocaine, not feed your kids, not wash their clothes, totally neglect them? It doesn't. But Rekieta really has to chill down with the fucking pedophile stuff there.
Yeah.
Like, you already got sued by Monty for defamation. Does he really want
let's
one?
go. Let's go.
Oh,
another fucking
buddy.
lawsuit?
Oh, buddy.
The
lawsuits are stacking up. So there was rackets, like freaking the fuck out, seething. Then let's look at Josh's path.
By the way, I ended up watching this because I woke up like super late. I went to sleep super early. So I woke up, I see this tweet, and I'm like, is he streaming now? It's like 3 a.m. I watch him for a bit, bro. His voice is like this the whole time, and he's just like fucking whipping it up the whole.
He's killing himself with the whippets, bro.
Oh, buddy, it was.
So here
it was boring
Ralph.
as fuck, though.
Here comes Ralph. Ring it up, Ralph. So the Rekieta Bodycam footage is not coming out, just like I predicted. The state of Minnesota asked that the record be corrected to show the footage was never offered as evidence, and therefore it's not eligible for public release, bitch, just like I predicted. Renowned legal scholar Ethan Ralph there, everybody. Renowned legal scholar Ethan Ralph.
Yeah.
Vindicated once again.
Okay, so yeah,
Next
we saw this one. Here we go.
So then he said, from what you said on Mad at the Internet, I gathered the county has already agreed to give the body cam to you, but now they're trying to renege on that agreement. And Josh, for the first time publicly, reveals that Kandiyohi County was ordered by a judge to turn over the footage to Josh Moon. It was court ordered, damn it!
By the way, what? Yikes. All right. Go ahead.
So here's Josh. Kandiyohi was ordered by a judge to release the footage, and now they're in damage control. The sheriff outright said he did not intend to comply with the judge's order until a local big law firm sent him a letter, and they have the clout in the state to actually intimidate. We then asked the Department of Administration to rule, and they also issued an opinion that the sheriff should comply. He said he would decide to do that on the 2nd of June. Now the prosecutor, whose whole job was to felt Rekieta, is jumping in to help Rekieta.
Okay.
Seems like the county conspiracy does exist, but not to hurt that poor little crackhead.
Guys, for real. Is this
it's
not...
the Zuluminati, buddy!
Is this not insane?
The black oil virus and the bumblebees, the prosecutor colluding with the fucking sheriff to halt the release of the body cam footage. It's not fair, damn it!
We have to get sued. Josh, you're watching.
It's the
you need
Zuluminati.
to sue these fucks.
What happened is the most prestigious and wealthy families in the state of Minnesota, they all donate to the Minneapolis Zoo. And Rekieta's family are well-known wealthy benefactors to the zoo. And whenever one of the members of this so-called Zuluminati gets into trouble, the other members are able to pull strings. And what happened is Rekieta and his parents went to the Zuluminati, and they have cooked up this conspiracy to defraud all of us out of the rightfully owed body cam footage. It's unbelievable! It's a conspiracy!
Bro, it's straight up like this is Freemason shit happening here. Isn't it?
It's beyond, bro. The powers of the Zuluminati go far beyond the powers of any other earthly body. It's crazy stuff. So, but Josh says it's too late. Even if he successfully squashed the evidence, I already have 3 independent written accounts of the videos, which we're going to be reading for you guys today.
It's dark.
And then hopefully with the power of AI, we can create our own version of the body cam to cope If the real body cam doesn't surface.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Here we go.
So Josh says, by the way, this was a couple days ago. A person visited the courthouse to take notes again today. There's 2 videos she went to see, one video a week ago and one video today. The vibe in the courthouse is supposedly intense now and totally different. There's some shit going on. Well, what happened is the lady at the courthouse got the call. She got the call from the Zuluminati, and the Z's, the Z's, whatever you want to call them, they shut it down.
But
They shut it down.
Actually, like, guys, like, for real, these people were going there. It was 5 chicks, right? I think it was 5 girls or 3 girls.
I think it was 5.
It was 5.
I think
3 took notes.
But
3
he
took
wanted
notes.
he wanted 3 different witnesses
Yeah.
to all be able to testify to what was seen on the body cam footage. It was all accurate between the 3 people. So there was no disputing it or whatever. But what happened is the prosecutor personally walked up to the judge to get this squashing done within an hour of the court opening, because the court knew that 3 women were going to the courthouse first thing in the morning to get the notes. Josh says, we're going to sue, but this is a frustrating setback. So what's happening now? There's lawsuits in the state of Minnesota. Josh Moon has 2 lawyers working pro bono on the situation to still try and get the body cam released. They're going to be suing the state of Minnesota. Rekieta might be suing the state of Minnesota. Josh has said that he will be taking this all the way to the Supreme Court, not just of Minnesota, but of the United States government.
Let's go!
So, I don't know. It's ridiculous.
It's some ridiculous
shit. This is some ridiculous shit, buddy.
This is crazy, guys.
Okay,
this is actually freaky, though. It is actually really twisted and dark. You know?
Okay, so that's a repeat of the last one we just read.
Okay.
So Josh says all 3 women were set to review the footage a final time today. And within minutes of the order coming in, they got emails telling them to fuck off. They knew they were coming and rushed this shit through. We do have notes, but not what Josh wanted, which was 3 testimonies of both videos. He has 1 complete video testimony of one and 2 partial testimonies of the other, which he released as soon as possible, which was today. Bring it back.
Oh, sorry.
And we can see this is the email that was sent to the women. There has been a change in circumstances.
Oh!
We really need the X-Files. Like, whoa, buddy. And the body cam footage are no longer public.
What?
And therefore cannot be viewed. I am sorry, but I will not be able to allow you to view those today. Thank you, with an exclamation mark and no space. She typoed. She didn't give a shit. I have attached the order in the file that makes these no longer public. Thank you, with a typo, with no space.
Wait.
The fucking exclamation point.
He
fucked it up twice.
This seems like really illegal.
She's sloppy. There's a cover-up job in Candiota County.
This is a cover-up.
My God, this is a government conspiracy against Josh Moon. It wouldn't be the first time. This is seriously, though. I was on the phone with Josh earlier, and I go, so it's another typical Josh felt. The whole world's against you, and you're getting screwed, huh? I've heard this story before.
This is what I feel like right now, folks.
It really is.
It's the Twin Peaks, conspiracy, small town. Folks,
it just keeps happening. It's not right.
It's over. It's fucking over.
No. It's never been this over. So this is the document that means it's game over. The request, for the first time, it's not Baldo seeing these words. He's seen these words a lot. Denied, denied, denied. But for the first time, Josh Moon and the Kiwis and the casino for that matter, are tasting the felt of the words denied. It's tough.
What the fuck? This
Rekieta had it granted, damn it. All right, so here's Josh to explain the situation in better detail.
Yes.
I don't want to misquote him. I had a conversation with him about this, and he told me all about it before he went live. And I actually think I didn't know he was going live in just a few minutes. So I'm like talking his ear off on the phone.
He's
and
like,
finally,
Ashton.
He's like, I have to go. I didn't realize he was going to do his fucking show. So if there was a slight delay in the show going on, I apologize for that. But let's hear Josh explain it.
All right, here we go.
This doesn't even deserve an intro song because this is dead serious.
I'm dead serious.
Oh no, buddy. It's serious business time over at Mad at the Internet. We got all put on our serious hats today.
Everything about Rekieta's house on the internet. Now, chat. Okay, I was instructed by Rekieta that I am supposed to tard rage on stream today.
Do it.
And so tard rage I will. Here is the update. So yes, Ralph won. So here's what happened.
Oh
no! The saddest words.
Said Ralph won.
The saddest words of voice and pen. Ethan Ralph has won again. Suffolk Josh. Suffolk Kiwi Falls, Casino. Ralph's won, bish.
It's tough,
It's
man.
Never been this over.
Let's get some subs.
What are we gonna do? Let's get some subs.
Just in brief.
2 more weeks, guys. Trust the plan. 2 more weeks, and then Josh will produce the body cam. Don't worry.
No, it's so funny about Ralph winning. He's still poor.
Yeah, he's poor. He lives in Mexico. He has to eat tortoise to survive in his tin shack. Oh no.
To finalize their notes, so we would have 3 notes from 3 different women for both videos.
But it didn't work out, did it, Squeak Box?
Oh.
Suffer squeaky voice, Josh.
Let's
Slobber mutt.
Because right now we have partial notes for one of the videos and complete notes on one of them. However, at the last second, literally the prosecutor filed something yesterday, and in the first hour that the court was open, the judge suppressed the evidence, which was already entered into evidence.
The prosecutor, this is like the biggest betrayal since Anakin. You were supposed to felt the Rekietas, not join them. You were supposed to bring balance to the Kino, not leave it in darkness. This prosecutor fucked this up the ass, bro.
All right, someone saying,
all sounds highly illegal.
Ironic Ridge is saying, why would the prosecutor want it hidden? Well, we think it's because they are tired of this clown show. They are
No, I don't think so. I think this is a clear criminal conspiracy.
Oh, okay.
On behalf of the Zuluminati and influencing officials in Candy-Ojai County to try and preserve what little remains of the Rekietas and the town's reputation.
Yeah.
That's what this is, and we need the body cam footage to find out what the powers that be are hiding on that tape.
You know what we should do, Ash, for real? This summer, you and I fly to Minnesota and we do a detective investigation series where
the Baldo files.
We break into the courtroom legally, like through the front door, we open it, and we go,
and we demand answers. Where is the body cam footage,
everyone.
bitch?
We press everyone. We
start
knock on
pressing
Rekieta's
the
door.
secretary.
Open up, Rekieta! Open up!
You're gonna sign these papers to release the body cam, Rekieta. Talked about the Battle of Jim's driveway. Well, it's still in Minnesota. It's the Battle of Rackets driveway.
Yeah. Show us the Baldo, Nick. Show us the Baldo.
Well, he'll be glad. He can't wait to tell everybody about it. He's never hesitated to let somebody know the good news of the Baldo. Have you heard the good news of the Baldo? No longer do you have to live with
hidden
these
cams.
cops.
We head to the sex
Oh,
barn
man.
and we look for
No,
clues.
not the sodomy barn,
The sodomy
buddy.
barn.
The
We
sodomy
look
barn.
for clues. We bring PWR
Oh,
with us.
shit.
Why am I here?
And the women received a prompt email minutes after it was filed saying that they would no longer have access to the footage today if they showed up at court. So, to clarify, the body cam footage was entered into evidence, and it was entered into evidence by Rekieta.
Yes.
Because
That's
Rekieta
the
was
thing.
hoping to prove...
That was Rekieta's fatal flaw in all of this, was that his own lawyer, I believe his name's Mr. White or Mr. Denton, let's be real, he entered the body cam into evidence, which means the evidence can be released to the public, and it should be. But now they're trying to argue otherwise. It's bullshit, bish.
Yo, Mr. White.
That April was not properly Mirandized, but she was properly Mirandized, and this was important because Rekieta attempted to assert that April was not a resident of their home, but a guest, so that her possessions would not be his possessions, which could be the case if she was a resident of the home. April told the officer explicitly, and after being Mirandized, that she had been living there for a month and was therefore
Josh!
a resident of the home, and her possessions were possessions
Josh!
of the home.
Do the Fortnite dance.
Wakey, Josh! Rekieta got you, buddy!
The household.
This isn't a
So
dream,
it is
it's
an
a
incredible
nightmare,
move.
Josh!
Yeah, we have to get Ewu to get the body cam. They get body cams of everything.
No. That's
And
the
it
thing.
happened extremely
What?
All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
fast. So we will be suing the county of Candy-Ojai County to get
Let's
the body cam
go!
footage.
So
Let's go!
burn
Get
it to the
another
ground.
internet lawsuit!
In the courtroom.
Josh is going to become a millionaire off the Candy-Ojai County. Can you imagine the damages that have been lost? All of the money in sweet super chats that Matt at the internet would have collected had the body cam been allowed to be sent out. This is outrageous. It's unfair.
It is fucking gay. This is the gayest news ever. When you told me in the morning, I was like, stop.
No.
It like ruined my workout. I was about to work out, and he told me that, and I'm like, I don't even got energy to do this. I'm so
corruption.
mad. So sad.
Because we have gone through a very rigorous process in order to obtain authorization to get it. And here's what we did. When we realized that the body cam footage had been entered into evidence by Rekieta, we asked the judge for we asked the sheriff to release it. The sheriff said he would not release it. Now, ordinarily, things like the body cam things entered into evidence could just be retrieved from the court.
We have to get all those people who audit police officers to go to the sheriff's office. Are you drinking there, sir? Are you drinking on the job? Could I see your ID? Like, just start auditing the.
He was paid off in Baldos, damn it! Open your desk. Just 100 Baldos just fall out. Got him.
Any other document entered into court. That's public record.
We need Vitaly.
But the body cam footage features
Prove
his
you
children.
can get a hard
Very
on
brief.
normally without Viagra. You can't do it, can you? Look, we have this hot stripper we just brought in. You're not even getting hard? Are you gay? Or is it that you've been bought off by Big Baldo, Sheriff?
Show us your dick.
What is it? Show us your dick, Sheriff. Prove it works.
They're not there throughout the entire video, but they are there. So in order to release them into the public under Minnesota data law, they have to be censored. And it is the responsibility of the Candy-Ojai County Sheriff's Office to censor the depictions of minor persons in the evidence and to release it to us.
Which, by the way, I just want to point out, Rekieta's big objection to all of this is that his kids are in it. The footage was going to be censored of all of the kids' voices and faces. And by the way,
he brings his kids on stream, though.
He does. He brings his kids on stream or whatever. But also, we found out from the notes today, the kids are hardly even in the body cam footage. So it was all fucking bullshit.
Ooh.
Sheriff said no. The sheriff said he would not do that, even though it was released into evidence. So we then petitioned the judge to make a declarative statement that the evidence, the body cam footage, was evidence, and therefore it was public record. We have received this.
Yes.
Judge Wetzel, who is also the same judge as in the criminal case, issued an administrative order clarifying that the body cam footage was public record and therefore it should be released. We sent the judge's court order to the sheriff asking that the body cam footage be released as he said it should be, and the sheriff said, I will not be complying with the court order, which is just
how can that happen? How can this happen? The corruption goes deep, buddy. This is a crooked county, boss hog run, dirty damn scumbag operation. It stinks to high heaven, Worski. The dirty sheriff, boss hog Rekieta, paying him off to disobey court orders from fine Judge Wetzel. How can this be?
But why?
How can this be allowed to stand? Well, that's the real question, is why? Like, what the fuck? Why? Is it the Zuluminati? Is it... I don't know. Is it they're tired of the circus? I don't know. I really don't know.
Did the sheriff allegedly go to Rekieta's and is caught on film doing coke with him?
Is that what it is?
You know?
Was he in the nose candy with Rekieta?
You never know.
Was he balls deep in April? Was April supplied to the sheriff?
Yeah.
We're just asking questions.
We're just asking questions.
It wouldn't be the first time Rekieta watched somebody fuck his lover.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So maybe it was Kayla and Ape tag teaming the sheriff, allegedly.
Or
we're just asking questions. What happened?
The barnyard glory hole in the back. Fucking Rekieta puts his dick through a glory hole, walks out.
Maybe
he's the sheriff on his knees.
Maybe it's the simplest explanation.
What?
Maybe it's what Rekieta was telling us all along. It was that the dastardly sheriff planted the coke on Rekieta, and the body cam footage coming out would actually vindicate Rekieta and prove the corruption of the county. Maybe that's what it was all along.
This is all alleged.
Barnes we're just speculating.
This is all speculation.
What could have happened to make a sheriff whose duty is to uphold the law and enforce it, to protect and serve, to defy his duty and defy the court order of Judge Wetzel? What happened? What's going on?
I think my theory that Rekieta got a BJ at the glory hole barn. And then he saw the sheriff walk out. And then the sheriff's like, fuck.
The sheriff was sucking off a gay man at the sodomy barn.
That's what happened.
And Rekieta is going to tattletale on his wife if he releases the footage.
Yes, exactly.
It could be. Who knows?
That's what I think. This is all speculation.
It actually was so shocking to us that Hardin had to reach out for several other opinions just to make sure he hadn't completely lost his fucking mind and he wasn't witnessing the sheriff actually saying that he was not going to comply with a court order because what the fuck.
Right.
So after that happened, we considered suing. However, a law firm, a big law firm that Hardin knew, sent a letter to the sheriff and said, what are you doing? And after that, they got into contact. The sheriff actually knew this law firm, so they reached out. And we decided to contact the Minnesota Department of Administration. And we did this for a specific reason. Statutorily, if the government of Minnesota is doing something wrong and you sue them, you can win attorney's fees if certain things are in your favor.
Right.
However, if you contact the Minnesota Department of Administration and you get them to issue an opinion that you are in the right and the government still ignores itself and does not do what the opinion says to do, you are mandatorily awarded attorney's fees.
Buddy!
It's the small town Illuminati.
No,
man.
for sure.
There is no justice in these small towns.
Yeah.
There is no discretion.
You know they have robes on Sunday at 7 p.m. and they're all around a statue.
are the contributions to the sheriff's political campaigns public knowledge? Is it going to turn out that Papa Rekieta made a substantial donation to the sheriff's reelection? Is that what's going to happen? Like, what's going on?
We need Carl Jobst and Mudahar on the case.
That's what we
for
need.
the judge to consider. He must, under state law, issue you your attorney's fees.
Imagine that comes out. that Rekieta, Papa Rekieta was giving him money.
Be surprised the palms were greased.
Yeah.
We went to the Minnesota Department of Administration, and we asked them to clarify if the sheriff was bound to his own court. And the Minnesota Department of Administration said yes, he should comply with this. We sent this letter to the sheriff, who said, okay, give me until June 2nd to respond. So we decided we would wait until June 2nd before suing.
That's where you
shouldn't have waited.
But Josh was being a nice guy.
Never
Josh
be
was
nice.
trying to trust the process and trust the plan. He figured, and like, who could blame him? He has a court order saying release it. And then he also has an agreement of opinion on it from administration. And so it should be a slam dunk that this is getting released. But oh no.
Buddy, come on.
The crooked county of Candy-Ojai decided to ignore the order and fuck Josh over.
If he did not respond by June 2nd with the body cam footage or with a timeline that he would release it to us.
Is it Candy Yoshi, right?
No, it's actually Candy-Ojai County. But
okay, that's what I thought it was. Everyone said Yoshi.
The funny way to say it is Candy Yoshi.
Okay. Everyone's saying Yoshi. I'm like, it's not.
We would
Yoshi,
be suing the Candy-Ojai County Sheriff because we were
Candy
mandatorily
Yoshi?
awarded attorney's fees. So it's basically free to sue him. Today is May 30th, and on May 29th, so 4 days before he was going to issue his response to us, as he promised, the prosecutor in the case filed a motion with the court under Judge Wetzel, the same Wetzel as before, saying that he wanted this evidence suppressed because it wasn't technically entered into record, which is a false statement. It was used as evidence to make important decisions about if somebody was Mirandized or not, as a result of Rekieta's own filings. The judge, the next day, approximately an hour and 50 minutes ago, and an hour after court opened, less than an hour, 51 minutes after court opened, not only approved his motion, but entered it into the docket and got the county clerk to tell the women that were going to visit this morning that they should not come, which is a level of alacrity that you never see in any level of the judicial system, which means that the prosecutor personally walked this to the judge and said, I need this signed right the fuck now because they're about to intervene. Crazy. And it's much.
Yeah, this is fucking crazy.
We need Mulder and Scully on this investigation.
Yeah, man.
Stop, bro.
Harder to undo.
This is scarier than the Witch Tower. Remember that?
I remember the Witch Tower, buddy.
Something that has happened in court, then it is to intervene immediately and to stop it from happening in the first place.
Yeah, it wasn't the cigarette smoking man; it was the crack smoking man intervening.
And now we're going to have to sue anyways and undo the thing that already happened, which is a losing position. But it theoretically, in the rules of law, it is actually possible.
Where's my $5,000, Josh? You better pay up, bish.
Alex, see, I'm assuming that the footage is already destroyed.
The footage is already destroyed.
Oh,
now we're holding out hope that it still does exist somewhere and that there's a possibility it could be released. But with this level of crookedness and corruption going on, the footage probably no longer exists. But we don't know that for sure. We don't know that for sure.
They said that the last time they tried hitting play on it, like it was corrupted or something?
Josh told me that on the phone this morning. I'm not really sure if I should have said that or not. Now, at this point, I kind of figured that everything he told me he was going to say publicly on the show, I shouldn't have fucking said that.
No, I think he tweeted that. He tweeted that.
It's some sketchy fucking shit.
No, he tweeted something.
Oh, is that the case? Okay.
Along the lines of the foot. Okay, no, he said this. The footage was being played properly for the 3 chicks, but then later there was problems with the footage when trying to be played.
Playback.
That was his tweet. Yeah, that was his tweet. Yeah.
And actually likely.
But now, in my opinion, that sounds like it's a corrupt file. Now, did they go, we need some time to like save it as a M4VF?
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, Josh did say the video was messed up.
Yeah. It is an incredible circumstance. It is unbelievable that this is actually what happened.
Yeah, Francisco, did the women record it with their phones? How did no one go in with glasses cam and record, like film it with their fucking glasses?
Well, that would be highly illegal.
Who cares?
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. That's crazy. But is it illegal to record in a public? Well,
I don't
building?
know. It's a courthouse.
You're allowed to film in a courthouse.
It's it really makes you wonder, like, what
they don't
the
allow
fuck and
electronics.
Why. So I would like to say that if you go to the Kiwi Farms right now, there's a post. I'm actually going to feature this on the front page
was
right
America.
now, since I have working internet again.
Damn.
I'm going to remove this, and then I'll globally feature this, and so people can find it. Let's see.
The Minnesota Public Records.
Rekieta
Fuck on, it's Minnesota Public Records with a matter of interest to the public.
Imagine.
Fuck on, it's the full Bodycam footage.
That's our only hope.
Help us, Minnesota Public Records. You're our only hope. Pretty much the only hope at this point, which I wouldn't be surprised if this happens. Not saying I can't co-sign this behavior, bish. But I wouldn't be surprised if a government worker or somebody at the courthouse illegally leaked it somewhere.
Yeah, just drops it on fucking 4chan.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Are now public, and I'll feature this. So you can read along if you would like. I am going to go through the notes together with you live on stream. But if you have no interest in listening to me talk, you can go ahead and read those notes right now by yourself.
You can watch the casino read the notes. So now, guys, it's time for us to read the notes together. By the way,
here we go.
So this all led to Ralph's huge victory. Josh Moon is going to have to pay Ralph $5,000 because of the bet he made with Ethan Oliver Ralph. Will Josh Moon be a man of his word? Here's Ralph demanding payment for the bet that he made with Josh.
Okay.
Like, his big was the bet that I never agreed to. I don't remember what
he said. Wait a minute, Ralph. No! Wait a minute, Ralph. No, you never agreed to the bet. Wait a minute.
Hang on.
Oh, no, Ralph.
You're telling me only W. Download.
Oh,
I'm uploading this on Twitter right now. Let me download. Let me download this.
There's the L, buddy.
No.
Oh, wait. He didn't even agree to the bet, thus making it null and void, meaning that he doesn't even get the $5,000. It's like the Harry bet where he never ended up betting on the Kansas City Chiefs, even though they did win. No! Suffer, Ralph!
Let's go!
Suffer, bitch!
His big was the bet that I never agreed to. I don't remember what he said the bet was.
Oh!
He doesn't even remember! Do you know what he is trying to do today, though? By the way, this is where the rug pull begins on their victory, because it wasn't even a victory. It's all bullshit. But, come on! He was trying to say, listen, Josh, if you pay up the $5,000, I'm going to put this money away for Xander for when he turns 18. And I'm going to put it in a high-interest savings account so Xander has some to rely. First of all, he would never do that in a million fucking years. Second of all, somebody did the math, and that's still like 13, 14 years into the future. It would only be $8,300. Gee, thanks, Dad, for the $8,300 in California in 2040. Holy fuck.
And of course, I never did agree to about.
Oh, no!
And he's definitely fatter than me. I'm fat, too. I'm like, nigga.
Okay.
Oh, no, Ralph.
You outweigh me by like 150 pounds. What the fuck are you talking about?
Josh is
It's just
650.
bizarre alternate reality shit. Like,
That's what's crazy. Is Ralph did agree to the bet on camera. We all heard him agree to it. And then he just denies reality and says he never agreed. And
Well,
then
he canceled it out.
Well, he just canceled it out. He said the bet's not on. So, because he thought at that time, surely Josh is going to get the footage, and I don't want to have to pay Josh this $5,000. Well, you should have stuck with the bet, bud. You would have been $5,000 richer. But unfortunately, that money slipped through Piggy's hoof.
We have it established here that Ralph sees that he will not be receiving the $5,000 because he canceled the contract. That's terrible. That's crazy.
well, I haven't seen the footage, and I didn't make the bet anyway.
Oh my God!
He did it again. He said it again. He said it again.
So, how can you lose a bet that you don't make?
Oh,
And
oh no, Ralph.
Josh would have paid him too.
I know he would have.
Josh would have actually paid him too.
Josh was preparing payment this morning. He was telling me. But unfortunately, he's seen the clip now, and Ralph's not going to get jack shit.
he's not going to get the footage.
It's like, then make the bet. Like, I didn't make
He
that.
was scared. He might still get the footage, and then Ralph. I guess then Ralph will not have to pay the $5,000.
No, then we have the footage of him today saying that
the
he
bet was still active. Heads, gun wins. Tails, gun you lose. You know, heads
you
Josh
lose?
wins.
Yeah.
Tails, gun loses. That's just the way it is. Ralph. It was rigged from the start, buddy. Okay. Alrighty, let's go into
no matter what he does.
He always loses. Reality is whatever felt Ralph.
We're going back here. There we go.
Okay, so now we're going into. So now Gabe actually entered into the fray.
Wow. No way.
This is interesting. So Rekieta mentions here how he has some really bad news and he had to end up leaving his stream. And we think this might be related to what Gabe said later on. Let's have a look.
All right, here we go.
Hey guys, the few of you who are...
Yeah.
We'll do the accounts of the body cam right after this.
Yes.
I had this this one.
Here, I heard court has ended early.
Now, do you notice,
looks
folks?
shook.
He's shook.
He's
right?
shook.
Oh my God.
He looks fucking like he's dying.
Now,
doesn't he?
people thought that this reaction was at first the body cam news was coming out, right?
Yeah, but the body cam news is actually in his favor.
Yeah.
So what was going against him? That's what's going to be interesting to find out.
Yeah, there's something else that's cooking. All right.
Sorry, I got some like shitty news while I was gone.
Ooh,
So
shitty news.
Ooh.
Let's go.
I think personally, this is what I think. I think he found out the babysitter snitched.
Or maybe he's getting divorced. Maybe Kayla filed the divorce paper.
After the abuse allegations. Did you hear about this, folks?
Well, there's rumors.
Rumors.
Now, these are unsubstantiated rumors, but the rumor is, the word on the street is that Rekieta was beating his kids and his wife, and that he potentially could be facing charges for that. Now, whether or not that's the case or not is still to be determined. Again, I want to say it's an unsubstantiated rumor at this time, but that's what the word on the street is that Rekieta was beating his wife and kids.
Now, chat, I want to applaud. When he said beating kids, I clicked the applause. I spammed the applause emoji. I didn't mean to do that emoji. I didn't know you were going to say that line.
Oh, well, it's retard alert,
So
everybody.
And everyone's joining in with it.
Whoa.
So I didn't mean that.
Whoa,
Okay, it was a
buddy.
negative. That was a negative clap. Negative.
Go ahead and let's see. We'll do the super chats and stuff.
Oh,
real
he
quick and
does
wrap
seem
up the show.
sad.
my God!
He's sad. He's shook. Oh no!
Look at his hair, man.
What
the
could
shovel.
it be?
Disheveled, balding.
Bad news be?
He's balding. He's patchy. He's skinny.
And then I'll try and do something a little bit later.
Something bad. Something bad's going on.
Something's going down. Something's rotten in the state of Baldo. There's no doubt about it.
Because when the body cam footage shit happened, where we found out Josh wasn't gonna get it, and this whole thing's happening, like Baldo would have been way more animated on fucking Twitter.
Oh yeah,
he would have been been
so fired up about it and so smug. But it's been kind of dialed back by Baldonian standards. So what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Blitzen says, going back to people's favorite inhalants, you can buy mimeograph scented candles.
Got it.
James Gardner gifted a membership. Bush McFadden, Cave Johnson.
James Gardner still holding strong over there, huh?
Here for Aperture Science, Chariots is doctor.
James Gardner,
Kurt has a micropene. That puts us at 2 in the micropene counter.
Okay, he is the one running the micropene count.
Yeah.
That was so outrageously stupid. We thought it must have been an A-log that added that to But that's the actual bit he's running with?
Yeah, for $5, you add micropene to the counter.
That's a big time retard alert.
Definitely.
But I'm just taking it down for now. Jeannie DB says, thanks for letting us.
Oh, he goes, I'm just taking it down for now. That's
down
sad.
Bad. He's down bad.
When you take down the micropene counter, it's over.
Be here, even though you're not. Sorry.
It really is.
Unexpected.
That's all he has.
No.
To drive a kid to a class, and then
come on, that's never true. He's never driving his kids to any. It's always a lie.
Yeah,
it always is.
Yeah, 6 days a week. He needs to. 6 days, 6 drives a day. Rather.
Dickory dock. Just kidding. Kurt has a micropene.
Is he? He can't listen.
He can't even fake laugh.
He couldn't even bring himself to add that to the micropene. You know when Rekieta can't even be bothered to dunk on Kurt about a micropenis? You know it's bad.
Yeah.
You know it's grimy over there.
I'm sure Kurt's having a tough time with his 4,000 live viewers and tons of dough. He basically just took it all off Rackets.
Yes.
Just like took
everything
clean.
Dr. Welcher thought the adjustable height of the Lexus was a
law pope
micropene.
now,
Yeah,
buddy.
he is.
Evidence will show it
Icy
was
hot
not.
law
It was
pope.
just a sub-average peen.
Go ahead.
The Commonwealth rests. That means they are done presenting evidence for Kurt's micropene. Now it is Kurt's turn to present an alternative theory to classify his member as other than micro.
Is it?
Is it?
Oh, he's sad. He's felt it. Did you see the
Funny. Oh
right
my
there.
God.
Oh no. And you can have it all. My micropene counter. It's over.
It's actually over for him, guys.
Yeah. So sorry for the short day and the weirdness going on and being gone for most of it. Everything's
By the way, yeah, so during his stream, he left 6 times for like 10 minutes.
No, now listen to this. Look at him. He's doing the lying face.
Yeah.
He's doing his lying face. Is he about to say everything's fine?
stupid, and I will everything's stupid, and I will I'll be back hopefully just a little bit later today when I get things kind of organized and settled down. Talk to you then. Sorry, guys.
Man.
Peace.
Oh,
Peace.
he seems defeated, bro. He's really demoralized there. Record scratch. You're probably wondering how I got here.
Listen.
Well, it all started with the ball, though. Once you put it on,
you can't
take it off.
No, but the thing is, like, people were like obviously upset, and as are we about the body cam. But he's like in his own jail of like sadness and depression. Like, guys, don't worry, he's paying for His
He's
sins.
suffering.
He's
Bish.
suffering.
He's suffering.
It's
All
bad.
right, so now Gabe Hoffman has entered. By God, it's Gabe Hoffman with a steel chair. Gabe Hoffman's come in to destroy rackets. So Gabe says, I plan to credibly report upon previously undisclosed serious criminal allegations against Nick Rekieta. Stay tuned.
Wow.
He then
Okay.
followed up by saying, these serious criminal allegations against Nick Rekieta require explanation by me in detail on a show's live stream to be determined.
Wow.
So the hype is building for Gabe Hoffman's potential appearance on Kino Casino. Now, I spoke to Mr. Hoffman, and he told me that he would entrust me with the details, but only if I went to a payphone of his choosing on Sunday night. Apparently, on Sunday night at a Bell telephone payphone, Gabe Hoffman will relay the information to me. He told me to wear a trench coat and a fedora with sunglasses to conceal my identity as he relays the secret criminal allegations against the Rekieta crime family.
It'll be raining. There will be single street lamp hitting the corner of the telephone booth.
I was like, Gabe, can't you tell? He's like, no, it's too close to the Sabbath, Goy. It's too close to the Sabbath. Have to be after the Sabbath. Sorry. But Gabe, I'm your Shabbos Goy. I'm sorry, Goy. It's going to have to wait. Okay.
Oh, yeah. We got,
so now go into the body cam notes.
Oh, yeah. Body cam notes.
So we have two different sets of notes from two different perspectives of the body cam.
Okay.
So here we have the author of these notes' final thoughts.
Wow.
So they say,
James?
I was not able to stop or rewind. So these are very off-the-cuff comments. So they had that courthouse locked down. There was no mobile devices allowed in. You weren't able to stop the body cam footage. You weren't able to rewind the body cam footage. So they had to be very quick while they were taking their notes. The footage was a bit overwhelming. The house is so huge and cluttered that it is very disorienting to watch. Also, the officer we follow must be in charge, and he is all over the place. He sticks in one room for a few minutes, then shuffles between them, so the footage is all over the place. However, we hardly see the kids at all.
Whoa!
So Rekieta's whole big cope, his kids are all throughout the body cam. It focuses all on them. He has to suppress the body cam to protect his kids. It's total fucking bullshit. The kids are barely in it, and the parts that they are in it, it's been censored. It's been blurred out, and the kids have been... So that's the reality of the body cam footage there, okay? So let's start off here. So they said the footage was taken the 23rd of May, 2024, and it starts at 9:11 a.m.
9:11. It's 9:11.
It really was Rekieta's own 9:11, buddy. Whoa, buddy. Further proof that this is all a conspiracy by the county, by the way. Really? What are the chances that it was at 9:11 a.m.? Okay.
Gamergate 2.
So, the body cam footage starts in the police car as the officers approach the house. There is a dirty cat house / tower and filled trash bags on the patio. Oh, buddy.
No, that's disgusting, eh? That's crackhead.
Grimy. It really is. They're just leaving like all sorts of garbage bags all over the fucking patio.
That's just the patio?
That's just the patio. Get ready. Well, we're going to get pretty good clues.
I haven't seen any of this. I try to stay away from this to react to it live. Go ahead.
Officer sees kids inside the house through the window. It takes about 6 knocks from the police on the door yelling search warrant before someone responds. One of Nick's daughters can be heard saying that Daddy told her not to answer the door.
Wait, the kids are there
That's sad,
and there's filthy garbage bags on their...
That's sad. That's
oh
really sad.
my God, dude.
Next slide.
He needs to be. Okay, go ahead.
And this is one thing. If the body cam footage doesn't come out, based on the description that I read, I'm almost not that disappointed because it sounds like this shit was really sad. Like, it honestly, it doesn't seem like it was really a laughing matter. It seems like a really sad, depressing, like miserable drug den of human misery and depravity. Kind of like something like Gummo, okay?
By the way, Ash, isn't this worse? Because, when you're writing horror, what you don't see makes it scarier because the audience fills in the blanks.
Is that, like, for people who are going to read this, it probably makes it worse than if he had actually just released the footage in the first place.
Yeah, because now we know it's true. There's been many witnesses, and now we're now imagining it like it's a fucking H.P. Lovecraft novel. Okay, let's go ahead.
So here he goes. As soon as the door is open, it is a literal labyrinth of clothes and stuff.
A labyrinth
it's
of clothing and boxes and
just sorted hoarder trash. It's hard to decipher where one room begins and another ends because every counter and table service is covered in bottles, clothes, packages of food, indicators of kids and their toys. There is not a lot of space to walk around the piles of stuff either. They find 2 females, April and Kayla, in the main bedroom. We have not seen them yet. The 6-year-old, stated by the officer, keeps saying something about her dad kept telling her not to let them in. As the police begin to walk around the kitchen, the main room, kitchen, and dining room seem to be one big space, but again, hard to tell with furniture cues since everything is so cluttered and covered.
Oh my God. By the way, imagine phoning your 6-year-old, honey, if the police show up, tell them they can't come in. The 6-year-old has to deal with this.
And then the 6-year-old for years is going to be traumatized and think it's their fault that mommy and daddy were taken away because the officers got it. It's pretty sick and twisted stuff we're dealing with here, right?
This is horrifying, bro. Horrifying.
It just gets worse and worse. Kayla shows up with her arms up in a very dry voice. She seems lethargic and out of it. There is some kind of room they walk by, a kid's room. It has a rainbow IKEA shelf in it, and it is completely flooded with junk and clothing. This room is an actual hoarder-looking room.
The kids' room?
So it wasn't just contained to the master bedroom like Rekieta tries to tell us. Oh no, all the degeneracy was just in the master bedroom where all the drugs were and all the filth was and all the hoarding. No, this is one of the kids' room, just totally packed with garbage and piles of clothes. The description is a hoarder-looking room. There are a few moments where the officer seems to be covering the camera with his hand. Hard to tell if it's on purpose or accident. Could be that he was just so shocked and trying to preserve the dignity of the kids that he covered the camera so that people didn't see the degree of filth and shamefulness that was on display. Literally just shit everywhere as they move about the house. So many random piles of clothes. There is a stairway that has some kind of chair or love seat. It's the size of half a couch, just turned over upside down at the bottom of the stairs. That was clearly done before the cops showed up. Not sure what that is all about. They have a big, fat, fluffy orange cat, though, and it's cute. 10 minutes in, and we have still not seen Nick on camera. Now, mind you, this is the perspective of only one of the body cams.
Yeah.
The other one, I believe, is Inspector Pomplon's perspective, which we're also going to read out to you guys. The garage is very cluttered. Looks like they just moved in with all the boxes of stuff. Given it is the garage, though, it honestly looks like the most normal room in the house. Lots of filled, packed luggage bags, too. The officer goes back upstairs and we get a quick close glimpse of one of the counters, and we can see food wrappers, bottles, and a box of goldfish that's opened. The officer goes back upstairs, and we get a quick close glimpse of...
I think I said double.
Okay. Yeah. At 9:23, we finally are outside, and we see Nick meekly showing up in the driveway looking pissed, like he's about to cry and arms folded. God, I want to see this shit! I want to see this shit so bad, bro!
Oh my God!
He's about to cry. He has short cargo shorts on in that shitty Jamaican colored tank. What a great description of it. Shitty Jamaican colored tank.
Yeah.
The cop goes back in and starts getting supplies and gloves to start drug testing stuff in the main bedroom. A lot of this part of the video is just the cops gathering supplies and talking about their attack plan on the house because it's so large and has so much stuff. Maybe this is one of their theories of defense if the cops showed up, that the house is just so packed with garbage and assorted filth that they won't be able to find the drugs. Not sure if that was part of the plan or not. They had to have an attack plan to sort this shit out. The house is such a fucking dump. We are in the bedroom to test. There is a lamp on the nightstand that just has a random tube balancing on top of it. Very, very cluttered space with lots of shit. It's important to note that the bedroom is right there in the main hallway of the house. You would easily walk by it every day if you live there. I say that because of all the shit they had in the room, it would be very easily accessible to the kids. As you walk by outside of the room, you can look right under the bed and nightstand. So any concept, any idea that the kids were shielded from this, I kind of thought that it was like upstairs.
In the corner, yeah, same.
Tucked away in a corner somewhere. But no, where this was all going down was on the main floor, the main hallway of the house where everybody would walk by all the time.
And they hear the orgies?
And they could hear the orgies from outside of the door and everything that was going on. They would have been completely aware of all of it based on what this person is saying. The other set of notes, or Josh said this himself, said that the moment the police walked in, they could immediately see into the main bedroom and see a giant bullet of cocaine.
What the fuck?
They walk in, where's the cocaine? And they just immediately find it.
Nick Rekieta needs to be locked up.
The cops keep saying that the two adult females were found in the bedroom together. Incredible amounts of bottles and makeup products and clothes, booze bottles and water cups on windowsills.
Wow.
This is so fucking degenerate, bro.
This is dirty.
The cop decides to go downstairs for a second and give a quick scan of the stream room. We get a closer, quick glimpse of the kitchen table, just covered in stuff and loose documents. We enter the stream room, and oddly, the ceiling doesn't seem finished. It just has these latex brand sheets covering it. We head back upstairs to the bedroom. We can see shoes, garbage, lots of clutter at the top of the stairs. They seem pretty dangerous with all the junk around the stairs. Sounds like a great environment for 5 kids.
By the way, that ceiling, yeah, we heard about that before. Wasn't it him who
That's
said...
where the cat is.
Yeah. He said, remember, the ceiling wasn't done or some shit?
Something like that.
Yeah, I remember him saying something like that, so it makes sense, yeah.
At 9:31, so 20 minutes after they've entered the property, we see him swab around the pillow, and it tests positive for cocaine. Then so the pillow tested positive for cocaine.
Pillow. There's just coke,
listen,
bro.
But there's no way that his 9-year-old daughter could have ever tested positive for cocaine.
Pillow.
When the pillow is testing positive. Is that right? I can't even believe I'm reading that properly.
Well,
why would they swab the pillow?
Well, there was probably plates and shit everywhere. There's probably plates.
My God.
They would probably do it on the bed, right? Or it's like falling out of their nose on the bed. Yeah. You probably saw on the bed there was like a powder on it. You probably saw that.
Then we see him pick up a black vial that looks like a lipstick tube. When he unscrews it, we see white powder. The officer responds with, "Oh, yeah." He takes a picture of it. The officer says there is a measurable amount of cocaine in the bedroom. At 9:33, in that master bedroom, a measurable amount of cocaine. They also find a large stack of cash, according to them.
Okay, allegedly, in my opinion, he was dealing.
Is that like that's what a lot of people said?
27 grams, bro. You don't do 27 grams.
You know, and apparently Aaron wasn't really doing much coke. Aaron said that he never saw Kayla do the coke.
Buddy.
I think that's what he said, right? So it would have been, if you believe Aaron, which, you know, take it with a grain of salt, okay? That would be between two people. They need 27 grams at a fucking time?
Look.
I don't know.
I'm a recovering addict. There's recovering addicts in our chat who are saying they agree with me. You don't buy 27 grams and not deal out some. Sorry. That's impossible. When you have coke, you do it all. You don't just keep coke for fucking later. You do it all.
I remember there being reports originally around this time that there had been cars coming in and out of the Rekieta house and stuff like that. Now, I don't know if those reports were ever confirmed. I think that was just fucking hearsay. But that was one of the theories at the time, was that Rekieta was dealing. Who knows?
Okay, look. Okay, someone's saying, I'll be real. The fee says, okay, if you're a rich person, you do buy it in bulk, so you don't have to buy more.
It could be easily explained by the fact that he lives in Candiota County, which is very far from Minneapolis, the Twin Cities.
True.
Where he was picking up from the dealer. So rather than having to constantly drive there, he would pick up mass amounts from the dealer.
Okay.
And bring it back.
But
that could be the situation.
But when you have 27 grams and you have a stack of cash in the coke room, what could be happening? I'm not saying he was dealing to make a profit. He was dealing to his buddies. Don't worry, I'll grab some. You come over. He's not dealing. Oh, okay, we'll have some lines. I'll sell you the gram of coke and you'll peace out. I'm not saying he was like doing it as his main job, right?
No.
That's my opinion, allegedly.
Next slide.
All right. That's right.
An officer then states that Nick is asking about probable cause. He wants to ask questions on probable cause. The main officer we are following calls Child Protective Services to the house. Yeah, I would say, based on what we just read, that was the appropriate course of action. A senior officer who has been talking to Nick says that Nick feels he's been hurt. What does that mean? He's hurt emotionally, or that he's physically hurt? What? He feels he's been hurt. Okay.
Yeah.
When calling family services at 9:37, the officer says, we located a measurable amount of cocaine and there are 4 children here. During this, we catch a glance at the main kitchen counter and it is just completely covered in booze bottles. Even over by the sink, covered in booze bottles.
Come on.
Oh,
what is this, a college frat house?
It sounds worse.
It sounds worse than college.
There's no college frat house I've ever fucking seen that is described quite like this.
It's like post-Project X, like fucking party.
It's a bit dark and confusing in the main part of the house, and without pausing and rewinding, I have a hard time making specific objects out. At 9:39, we head outside to deal with April and Nick and finally cuff and arrest them. April is in a really slutty top. Yes, Queen. Tell it like it is, Queen. I do not try to call out fellow women for how they dress, but it really is inappropriate to wear around kids and a married couple, regardless of any other fact. I think we're well beyond that, though, at this point. Listen, I appreciate you saying that, Miss Court Reporter or whatever, but she was sleeping with the husband. It was a polycule. She was baldoed, for God's sake. And it's a black crop top that has a collar and it's cut in a way that shows her cleavage heavily and her stomach is out. She has a huge piece of rock jewelry in her belly button as well. So just the white trash starter pack. Like, She's really maxing out the white trash fucking aesthetic with that. Okay.
By the way, I was sent this by many people.
She's
Guys,
a whore.
we know that the house listing is available and you can see the rooms. However, we cannot show that. It's against TOS on YouTube and on Kick, and it would be considered doxing, right? So,
okay. 942. She has read her rights and refuses to speak without a lawyer. We see her cooperate easily with the officers, and she gets handcuffed and out in the car with ease. We see the other officer cuff Nick, and he is not fighting either. April asks for some shoes because she's barefoot. Okay.
Oh, dirty black feet. You know it's dirty black feet, right?
Oh, the indignity of it all. The shame of it all. They keep asking her what room she has been hanging out in. She mentions the main room and kind of avoids the question. It seems obvious that she knew her being in the bedroom with Kayla, where all the cocaine would get her in big trouble. Nick does look still very pissed, and arms are still crossed before he's cuffed. They had to fucking unglue those cuffed arms.
Well, he's just like, oh, fuck.
You can just imagine the fucking seethe of it all, buddy. But the officer is very kind and heads back in to get her shoes, which are just haphazardly placed at the top of the stairs. As the officer heads back in the house, the fat orange cat gets out, and the kids, who have been outside on the patio and porch the whole time, say it can go outside. We can hear a kind officer ask the kids about their pets to calm them down. They seem to be actually okay, no crying and in decent spirits. I think Kayla is with them until a woman from Child Protective Services comes, and she is the one in the white and black striped shirt.
And 46.
We are back in the main bedroom to keep testing stuff. The officer we are following seems to be the head honcho, as he keeps moving in and out of every room and making the calls and shots throughout. So we are often just walking around saying stuff. As he enters back into the bedroom, another officer mentions they have found quite a bit of edibles in the room. Wow. They don't state what kind, but it can be assumed weed. If you did not know, they have edibles for shrooms, Molly, and other mixtures that are actually easy and common to get, but also gummies just being accessible in the bedroom bothers me. Well, yeah, because the kids, it seems, could just easily go in there, and they may not know.
It's candy.
Yeah, it's candy, and they could have fucking dosed the edibles. God only knows. At 9:47, the officer finally tests the black vial, and it's an instant blue swab. Cocaine right there on the bedstand. You could see it from the hallway.
Whoa!
Repeat. Cocaine right there on the bedstand. You could see it from the hallway.
Okay.
Fuck Rekieta, man.
Put in fucking
Fuck
jail.
Rekieta.
Fuck this piece
what
of shit.
What a fucking piece of shit, dude.
You couldn't even fucking
just
hide
having them live in this filthy, dirty fucking hoarder home where the cocaine's just right easily accessible on the fucking bedside table. Fuck, man.
And fuck anyone defending him. They could go fucking die in a fire.
I don't think anybody really defends him. And the fact of the matter is,
people.
It's really obvious why he didn't want this to come out. Because if this came out and people were actually able to see this, he would get fucking lynched, dude. Like, there would be nobody that would ever put him on a show again or a panel again. Nobody would ever. Well, Melton might, but he's not a human being, right? He's a pedophile. Right? So, you know, the guy would just be completely destroyed. The reputation of the family would be completely destroyed forever and ever and ever. And so that's why he's fighting this tooth and nail for coming. And I really hope it does come out, because something really has to be done in this situation.
Minnesota Records, if you hear us and you have access to it.
No, don't say that. Don't say that.
No one. Yeah, anyone.
At 9:47, the officer.
Fuck him.
Okay, yeah, okay. He continues to shuffle through the stuff on the bedstand, but the angle makes it a bit difficult to see exactly what it's testing and touching on the stand. Then an officer tells him they found the rifle under the bed.
Oh, rifle under the bed.
Remember Rekieta's cope from last week, or was it last show, where he said they couldn't place the guns with the drugs?
Buddy.
The guns are literally in the same room as the drugs, right under the bed, where the drugs were on the bedside table. And he also lied and said that all the drugs were in the safe, when we've just heard there was a fucking vial of cocaine right on the nightstand.
He needs to be. I hate him. He is such a piece of shit.
He's so lucky he didn't get jail time. And the 5 years probation is such a merciful sentence.
It's not
for
enough.
What it's actually, it really isn't, but it's going to end up being enough because he's going to fail the probation and he's going to go to jail. The main officer heads out of the bedroom again, and we see a female officer taking care of Kayla, getting her ready to be dressed and sent to jail. So we go back into the bedroom. We see the rifle in its box on the bed. The box is literally just a cardboard box, and the gun is just sitting in it in styrofoam, not locked up at all, and it's a huge rifle. Sounds like a really responsible gun owner with 5 kids in the house. At 9:50, we hear an officer say that they found 2 spent casings in the bedroom. They found a snort tube on the nightstand. It tests positive for cocaine, and it's the first piece of evidence bagged.
Folks, this wasn't, it was in the safe. It was in the bathroom. It was a party weekend. This was a fully, if you wanted to fucking do coke, you could just walk in and just do a fucking Hollywood line.
By the way this is being described, there are drug addicts with better places to live.
Yes.
Than this. Like, there are actual legitimate crack dens that aren't as filthy and depraved as what this house was.
Oh,
that
man.
contains 5 innocent children.
This isn't just, he was partying one. No. This is like a lifestyle.
It's like train spotting.
Yes.
There are some open drinks and tubes on the bedstand. The black vial is bagged up as evidence. 2 credit cards in the name of April are found, and both the snort tube and the black vial were found right on top of the cards. So just totally caught red-handed. At 9:54, we hear them say that someone named Celeste had their medication right on the bedstand, literally right next to the cocaine vial, snort tube, and credit cards.
That's where you leave your medication, Celeste? Celeste fucking felted.
Isn't that Rekieta's mom is Celeste? Am I correct? Yeah, that's Nick's mom.
Wait.
Nick's mom. So was Nick's mom giving them medication to use for fun and recreation?
Or was the mom getting fucking lit as well? And that's
she
why
involved in the polycule? Did Aaron fuck Nick's mom? What the fuck is going on? Because if she was there, it means that she was aware of the entire condition of the house and the drug den, and she just forgot her medication. I think it's more likely that they were using that maybe they stole that medication. Maybe she was giving it to them to enable their partying lifestyle. It's all speculation. It's impossible to know.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty grimy detail, I would say.
All right.
The officer moves down to search around the floor around the bed and stand, and we see that the bed stand has actually been the Red Bull fridge Nick has been bringing around the whole time. The bed stand was the cuck fridge? No! He opens it, and I can only make out some jars of jam on the door. Is that really what you want in the middle of your coke and drug binge? Is fucking jam? What? What do you mean? Okay. That's wild to me. So food was there for sure. Food and meds on top of an easily accessible stand next to cocaine. There is a white stuffed animal. Oh my God, this is fun. There is a white stuffed animal and a hairbrush at the foot of the fridge right next to the bed. So it does seem like the kids come in here, given that there are a few toys around the floor.
Okay.
Castrate him.
Double belt him.
Oh, fuck him. Like, fuck him. He deserves to rot in a fucking cell.
Imagine a 6-year-old walking around. No, this is actually fucking ridiculous. This is worse than seeing the body cam footage because I've created I'm sure you're all picturing it in your head, and I've seen the house too. I know what the house looks like.
That's fucking
I
really
don't
bad,
need this.
bro.
And you know what? I knew this was the case, but I was giving him the benefit of the doubt that the main bedroom was upstairs in a corner and they locked it up. But no.
So, I mean, the kids were just there then. They were just freshly there in the drug den of debauchery. That's fine.
My
You know,
God.
it's a stuffed animal, so it's one of the younger kids.
Yeah, the 6-year-old or the fucking 9-year-old.
9-year-old or something like that. That's really bad. There seems to be a small laptop also stuffed into the space between the bed and fridge, and the light looks like it's on. There is no comment on this by any officer.
I have a twisted theory. Don't tell me that they had the laptop there for the kid to like lay down and watch fucking videos while they're on the bed.
If it was like an iPad or something, I would think that that's definitely what was going on. But it's a small laptop, like one of those mini laptops that you'd give to a kid, maybe.
Yeah, but it's beside the fucking stuffed animal in the corner where you could like, hey, I just lay over there. I'll be over here, and you're hitting the bullet.
Like,
and
you
shit.
know, if one of the kids is having trouble sleeping at night, or maybe night terrors, it's like, oh, here's your stuffed animal.
Yeah,
laptop.
Like watch your show.
You know, like if this came out, like there's a reason Rekieta's fighting this so hard, right? Because especially if you're able to pause this and zoom in and look at all the details of it, it becomes more and more damning, right?
This is scary.
We're not even like
I'm
halfway
like, I
done.
have goosebumps, Ash. This is actually fucking retarded. How he shows his face on the internet still is beyond me. He should be ashamed.
How he still tries to argue he did nothing wrong and it was all the evil government and the Kiwi farms and bro, give your head a fucking shake.
This is worse than I thought it could ever be.
But, you know, and this is the day where he won, right? I don't think this is what winning looks like. I don't think this is what winning looks like.
This is actually brutal. I think this is it. Is this where we're... Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
There's a lot more. At 10, so about 50 minutes in, we hear them say they found even more edibles in the bedroom. They confirm again that the rifle was found under the bed. One officer pulls out a metal funnel or vial, object that is found with another glass vial with some kind of white powder in it. Were they smoking crack? I guess it was a crack pipe. They probably would have identified it as that, the person watching this. This was found in the shelf under the TV in the bedroom. They test the white powder, and there is a faint blue on the swab. And the officer indicates that this means it could be a mixture of drugs.
I have a theory.
He begs for evidence. Go ahead.
Okay, so from what I can gather here, he's got all these vials. And he has what seems to be a metal funnel. Back to my theory of he would sell here and there and get some cash for it. He's using the metal funnel to fill up the vials from the bag of Coke to close them up and sell them like that.
Maybe.
That's what I think. People are saying yes. It might be mixing. I don't know. Something like that. People are saying yep. That's just my theory. Okay? A drug theory. Here we go.
10:03, they find some weed pipes and test them for other drugs. An officer comments at 10:04 in frustration that there is just so much stuff in here. Oh my God. The main officer tells them to be mindful of needles as he now believes it could be a possibility.
Oh,
Needle alert! Needle alert! So you know it was fucking bad to the point where they're like, these motherfuckers could be on heroin.
Yeah.
God knows what they're injecting. Be careful, guys. These people are absolute animals. They're fucking deviant.
Look at this one.
They're just continuing to dig through they're digging through it. Like it's an excavation, like a treasure hunt. Oh my God. There is a big luggage case that he opens up and it is completely packed with clothes and objects. The suitcase was already under a huge pile of clothes as he pushes off it.
I'm gonna be sick, bud. This is
Holy
like a nightmare.
fuck.
This is a fucking nightmare.
At 10:06, the officer decides to split up the team. He is leaving the bedroom to the others as he wants to go down and test Nick's studio. One of the other officers calls it a little lair. His little lair. They had no respect for them whatsoever, you know? Rekieta, his little lair, the sick fuck. They also find April's purse in the bedroom. So, even more proof she was present in that bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
We head downstairs to the studio at 10:08, and we also cross paths with the Child Protective Service woman.
Okay.
There is a very cluttered and full library room right before you enter the studio. There are 4 monitors with the Joker painting tucked behind them but out of sight, and they are still on, and it looks like he ended some stream. Very full, cluttered shelves that the officers dig through. They oddly keep finding random $5 bills throughout his junk. I wonder what those are for, buddy. Okay. It looked like some of them might have been dollar origami, but some of them were just stuffed into cups or pen holders. The officer tests a few things he finds, but nothing suspicious besides tons of bottles and trash.
All right, for the innocents in the audience, what this person is thinking they're seeing is the bills are like looking weird. That's from keeping a bill rolled up to the point where it unrolls and it looks like it's like a fucking
it looks like an origami.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. One officer does find some baggie of weird stuff. They guess maybe cloves or pepper. The main officer thinks it might be a whiskey starter. Then an officer brings a big metal safe down at 10:12, and they said they found it in the bathroom. We can see a dirty Ziploc baggie poking out. The officer says he will deal with it in a bit, and they go back upstairs. 10:16, we're just rummaging through the black shelves, testing random bits, but nothing is really down here. Okay.
So you've got a dirty baggie sticking out of your safe. This is a fucking disaster, dude.
At 10:17, the officer with the safe returns and asks for help with it, and we go to a small red bathroom on the main floor. I have to assume this is the main bathroom everyone uses when they don't need to shower, and the safe was found in here? Oh my God!
Wait,
so your Coke safe is in the kids' bathroom?
In the main I think I blanked out. What the fuck? In my mind, you know what it was?
What?
It was the bathroom in the bedroom. But that's like...
If Rekieta really is, if it really isn't like this, Rekieta should release the body cam footage himself and go through it and actually explain what was going on in the house.
Yeah.
This is bad. This is really bad, Nick. And the fact that you're trying to suppress it means that it is this bad.
All true.
This is the case. It's all true.
It's all true. 3 witnesses, and now they're suppressing it. He's obviously scared about it. Anyone who says, "Oh, this is bullshit," you're fucking retard, and you're just
okay.
Yeah. Anyway, okay.
The safe is opened up, and the contents are spread across the top of the toilet.
Man.
We can see a scale. So he has a scale, which, lends some credence to what you're saying about potentially dealing. Blue snort tubes and very dirty Ziplocs with cards and powders in them. At 10:19, he tests the cards and bags, and it tests positive for cocaine. Now we start bagging all of the objects in the bathroom safe and calling them out as evidence.
I will say one thing about a scale. Most people would have a scale to make sure they're not being gypped when they're buying drugs, right? But then you have Ziploc bags, you have a funnel, you have fucking all these little things, vials and shit. So,
Okay, this is crazy, one of these lines here. So evidence 8, large corner cut. This is what they called the large bag with a huge amount of white substance in it. He will test it when they get back. Evidence 9, this is fun. Ziploc baggie containing multiple baggies.
There you go.
One baggie has powder and it has KKK written on it.
What the fuck?
What? He's got the fucking racist Coke bag? The Ku Klux Klan Coke bag, buddy? That's a fucking retard. Why would you do that? The only theory I can have is that like Klansmen wear white, like, you know, but or is it like ketamine shopped with something?
I don't even know. It might be just be funny, I guess, right?
It's the purest white cocaine.
But,
I don't know.
But there it is. One baggie containing multiple little baggies. When you're buying,
he's lucky he didn't get a trafficking charge.
Scale, baggies, funnel, come on, folks. What are we just a big stack of cash? I wonder what was happening. I'm sure he was innocent. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, evidence 11, digital scale.
Digital scale. Evidence 12, metal object
funnel
containing powder. Evidence 13, 2 snort tubes, plastic straws, 2 cutters. After packing up all the contents of the safe at 10:23, we head back downstairs to the studio to continue testing. He goes through some drawers. They're all just packed with objects and loose documents. Just totally unorganized disaster. At 10:25, they continue to search through the library outside the studio room. Then we go back up to the bathroom to double check for any evidence. We get a sight of a skeleton model that is just hanging out in the open space of the living room. What is that? Like an actual like a skeleton?
At school, they would have one of those, or at the doctor's office, they have the skeleton.
That's fucking strange.
Okay.
By the windows, just completely covered in junk and food packages. Food packages?
Okay.
What the fuck is this?
Fuck.
Okay, at 10:26, we head into a bathroom with a hot tub. Oddly, even though there is a ton of stuff in here as well, the floor is pretty clear of junk and it is the cleanest of the rooms. So many lotions and makeup products are all over the counters, and of course, more booze bottles empty and half full on the counter and windowsills. What the fuck? Who just has empties hanging around in their fucking bathroom, bro?
And your kids are walking around.
Oh my God.
What if they grabbed it and drank it?
You know, people were speculating perhaps Rekieta's kids were selling booze, and that's why they had the extra money, and why that story about the nanny camp. I mean, if there's just like random half-empty bottles all over the place, I wouldn't be fucking surprised.
Yeah.
And it seems like none of them were in the fucking condition to have the wherewithal to even notice bottles being missing. There are many windows in the entire house that just have booze bottles on them. Many windows? Like, I remember Movie Bob would get made fun of for storing all his empties on one windowsill.
Yeah.
But they had multiple empty fucking booze bottle container windowsills. Holy shit.
Well, to be fair, he was storing them as like a flex, remember? He would stack them. He would stack them like Movie Bob.
This ain't no flex. This ain't the flex you think it is, Rockets. Okay, at 10:30, we are still digging through the hot tub. The phrasing of that, digging through. They head into some kind of laundry room, and it barely has any visible floor.
Oh.
Just piles of clothes, filled laundry baskets.
Those kids were in a horror house.
They still are. I doubt very much has changed.
Oh.
There is a hallway window, and there are 2 bottles of booze, and right next to them on the same windowsill are little teddy bear. Sad.
Bear figures are just like
sad, pathetic.
And Teddy Feezer, get it?
Oh my God.
This is crazy.
I cannot tell what kind of room we are in at 10:38. But it seems to be some kind of closet room or bathroom. It just has shelves.
Or bedroom.
Bedroom. It just has shelves and more clothes. There is just a huge rack of so many adult clothes. Okay. I thought it was going to be a bunch of fucking
dildos,
sex toys or something. know, it's like, okay. He digs through a random trinket box and finds another Coke bullet inside that he takes as evidence. Oh! Louder with Crowder mug spotted. Stop. Louder with Crowder mug spotted, chat. He's the mug club member. I'm sure Crowder loves that publicity.
By the way, what kind of room are you in that the person can't figure out if it's a closet or bedroom?
Well, the next set of notes gives a lot more detail about how brutal everything was.
I was looking for the Louder Crowder song. It's okay. Here we go.
At 10:36, we find another safe. The officer searches for Kayla to get the code so they don't have to bust it open like he said. Then we head back into the garage. Wait a minute. Didn't Rekieta tell us Kayla and April didn't know the code for the safe? Maybe she didn't give it. I don't know.
Okay.
Then we head back into the garage, and right before it crashes on me, an officer says that they found 2 handguns hanging out in the garage.
Wait.
So again, like, it's not great, right?
Oh.
Okay. So this is a set of notes from one body cam.
Okay.
Now I believe the second body cam is from Inspector Pomplon's perspective.
Okay. A new person here, okay? This is an audio.
It is from Pomplon's perspective. So there are sound issues throughout the footage. The volume was originally set to 100% and was so loud and distorted that most of the early dialogue was incomprehensible. It sounded like the speakers were blown. Even after turning it down to 8%, there are still problems hearing due to background noise, a barking dog, overlapping voices, radio chatter, and Pomplon's movement. Some of the dialogue is paraphrased to the best of my ability. This video is from Officer Pomplon's body cam. He moves around a lot and rarely stays in one place for long, so the footage can be jumpy and hard to follow. That, combined with the noise and clutter, adds to the chaos.
It's like fucking like a Blair Witch Project or something.
Is this really a county conspiracy though? Like, were they fucking with the footage so that they couldn't make it out? I don't know. Okay, so 9:15 a.m. This one is really devastating. The video begins with officers ramming the front door. As they enter, the first thing you see is a scared child.
Oh!
The house is extremely filthy. The floors are completely covered in clothes and junk in some areas. There's no walkway at all. You actually have to walk on stuff to move through the space. What? You fucking disgusting pig, Rekieta. Holy fuck. There wasn't even a floor. It's just a bunch of fucking junk. And there are kids living there. There's a fucking 9-year-old, 6-year-old living in fucking junk and filth to where there's no floor.
Rekieta, you are a fucking piece of
Imagine
garbage.
the fucking smell and stink that these children were forced to live in.
Oh.
Just dirty fucking unwashed piles of clothes fucking everywhere. God knows how many months or years that it had been fucking laying around. Okay? Fucking liquor bottles all over the place, drugs all over the place, guns all over the place. And he wonders why his kids got taken. He wonders why. And he thinks it was a bad thing? Holy fuck, man.
Mold. You know there's bugs. You know there's fucking bugs.
You know
This
there's
is
roaches
crazy.
and flies buzzing around fucking everywhere. Probably rodent infestation as well. Fucking mice hiding and nesting in the fucking piles of clothes and filth.
I'm so glad he's lost everything.
You have 1, 2, 3, if you count Aaron, 4 adults living there. And not one of them could give a single fuck to clean the floor to where they didn't have to walk on filth. And that's where it's not so fucking funny, right? It's not funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucked. It's disgusting. This is pure neglect and abuse of children that happened on supposedly an upstanding professional white-collar member of the community, a lawyer's watch, a guy who was involved in the local church that was teaching children, and meanwhile, in his fucking home, this is how it was. The fucking shame of it. And it's a stain on his name and on that family's name that can never, ever, ever be washed away or expunged, no matter how much he tries to suppress it or hide it. The truth is that this is what happened, Rekieta. You know what happened, and what's worse, your kids know what happened. They had to live this every single day, living in rotten fucking filth because you and your fucking wife decided to be drunk and on drugs 24/7 because you didn't get enough fucking pussy in high school. You didn't drink enough in college. So now your kids have to fucking suffer so you can pretend to be a cool internet celebrity, and they have to live in these fucking deplorable conditions. And if they weren't living in these conditions, then you would fucking release this body cam and prove that this is all fucking lies. And I hope it's lies. I wish that it was fucking lies, but we all know it's fucking true, you scumbag.
There's many witnesses, and hear this, Ashton, as a so Rekieta
There's no floor! It's floorless!
He's trying to add cheeky here. Someone goes, hey, Nick, so how about the video transcript? Is it accurate? And he replies, looks accurate.
Fuck off.
So he's just like, oh, yeah, it's accurate. Like, just, buddy.
This is accurate?
You are disgusting. I'm so glad you lost your channel, your money, everything.
His kids are supposedly homeschooled, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, they weren't educating them either.
Of course not.
They're uneducated. These kids are being forced to live in ignorance and filth. We're living in the 21st century. You know, these kids shouldn't be forced to live like this. You know, like, it's one thing, these motherfuckers come from generations of poverty and drug abuse, and there's a cycle of abuse. There's no excuse. You guys were millionaires. You were fucking millionaires, guys. You come from a trust fund. You come from wealth. You're a lawyer. You're an e-celeb. You were making hundreds of thousands of dollars from YouTube.
Millions.
Billions. Your kids live like this.
Buddy.
Fucking shame on you. There's no excuse. None.
You couldn't even hire a cleaning crew to clean your fucking filthy house?
Well, the fucking nanny quit. Can you wonder why?
Yeah.
Imagine having to pick up after 9 people. That was her job, by the way. This is like more than a full-time job. It's impossible for one person to clean up after 5 kids, Kayla, Nick, April, and Aaron. They expected her to clean up a drug den filled with 9 people, 5 of them children. I wonder why she walked away. And now, after putting that burden on her, the things that she must have had to see, the things that she must have had to deal with, he then comes out and has the fucking gall to then accuse the nanny of giving his kids fucking booze and giving them Red Bulls or Monster energy drinks or whatever the fuck. Buddy, look at your fucking life. Look at it.
Every window had booze. Every windowsill had bottles of booze.
Now, somebody said to me that PPP has never had a housekeeper. Well, Gabe Hoffman has. And Gabe Hoffman told me that what Rekieta asked this nanny to do was fucking impossible. Okay? So I just want to put that out there. Okay?
Listen, the housekeeper could still quit.
Well, she did.
Exactly. It's not like you're a housekeeper, therefore you need to keep the place no matter like how horrible they are. They're drugs, booze, they're having sex, you can hear orgies, there's craziness happening.
Well,
Nick's a fucking nut. She didn't want to stay there.
You actually have to walk on stuff to move through the space.
She's not a slave.
Countertops are stacked with random items. Liquor bottles are everywhere. The filth and hoarding are immediate and overwhelming. I repeat, the filth and hoarding are immediate and overwhelming. The mess you see in Nick's kitchen when he shows it on stream is nothing compared to the rest of the house. That one space is clearly staged. It's obvious he only cleans the visible area specifically for streaming.
Oh, that's wild. So everything around is a shell of dirty bags and clothing and shit. But he is, if we saw this footage, man, like he's lucky we're not seeing the footage because it's, I mean, I'm imagining how horrible, like
9:16 a.m. Kayla and April are being brought to the house and let outside. A dog can be heard barking in the background. Officers call a child who is downstairs. The kids are being removed from the house while the search begins. One of the officers goes downstairs to retrieve the youngest child. She comes up holding the officer's hand. She speaks to him, but the audio was unclear due to background noise, so I couldn't make out what she said. As they head toward the door, she pauses to pick up the cat so she can take it outside with her.
By the way, I think I know what the kid said. It was probably that line where the cop or the kid was like, I may have clean clothes.
That's really
remember?
Dark.
You may have clean clothing. I think it was that line. I think that's the line that was in the report. Hold on.
The search continues. A nitrous tank is visible in the house.
Tank.
As if we needed any more confirmation, but there's a nitrous tank in the house. Holy fuck, buddy.
Wow.
Nick can be heard outside yelling, "Get out of my house." I don't think so, bud. He says something about probable cause and a search warrant. He sounds indignant. I'm sure he was. Officer Pomplon walks out to his squad car to get gloves. As he returns, the camera... Oh, my God. As he returns, the camera catches all of the kids sitting on the ground outside with Kayla. They are huddled against the house. The scene is heartbreaking. And you think about it, right? She's the mother of those kids. She birthed them. She raised them. She schooled them, taught them how to read and write, took them to church every Sunday. And because of her husband and her's weakness, there they are, huddled outside of a crack den. Filth, all on display, all of the sins laid bare. They're being taken away in handcuffs in front of their fucking kids. The one kid, the youngest kid's holding a cat for comfort.
This is disgusting.
That's the reality of what's going on there, right?
What Nick did. Nick is the reason this all happened.
Well, they're both responsible, right?
Yeah.
Rekieta's the father. He's the leader of the household. It was set up as a patriarchal household where he was the ultimate authority and he was ultimately responsible. But I don't know what mother would let their kids live like that.
She's a husk, bro.
I don't know what sort of mother worth a single fuck. She's not even worthy of being alive. Let her kids live day after day after day in filth where they couldn't even touch the fucking floor, in a hoarder hovel where there were pathways carved out of fucking trash with stinking insects and God knows what fucking else in that house. Well, she sat in a bed doing fuck all, watching Star Trek, pilled out of her fucking mind because her retarded fucking husband thought he was Genghis Khan and thought banging a Minnesota 6 and doing cocaine made him the coolest man on the fucking earth. Fuck all of them. And fuck Aaron, too.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron wants to pretend like he's not responsible.
He saw the trash.
Yeah, he went there. Well, he talked about, like, cleaning the table one time. You know, like, that's not enough, bro. It's not acceptable. It's absolutely fucked. Shame on you and shame on anybody giving him a fucking pass on any of this fucking shit. The time for people to start talking and revealing actually what the fuck was going on is now. I'm just saying. Like, it was honestly a long, long time ago, Aaron, but fucking shame on you. And I don't mean that as, like, PPP or an internet character. Like, no, I mean that with dead seriousness. How the fuck could you go there? Why? so that your wife could get fucked by Rekieta? That's how desperate of a cuckold you were to live out your fantasies, that you endangered these fucking kids and didn't give a single fuck about their welfare? Really? Fucking shame on you guys.
And Aaron, you saw this all happen. You saw how
for
dangerous
months.
this was, and you didn't fucking tell anyone? It was the fucking pastor who had to do this?
He brought his own kids to Rekieta's. He brought his own kids there.
Was it that, or was it they went to
knowing
his
how
house?
bad it was. Well, fuck. Both ways are just completely fucked. Holy shit. Imagine ever allowing these monsters around children. And the fact that the children still have to live with these monsters is just disgusting.
Yeah. No, they are
It really
actual
is.
monsters,
It
bro.
really is. I know that there really aren't a lot of good options. I know that the foster system is fucking evil and horrible, and there's just so many issues with it. But we've really failed as a society and a community when stuff like this is just swept under the rug and allowed to fester and ferment. This is the vileness and depravity of the human condition. As Rekieta calls it, the myopia of poverty. Yeah, Rekieta had a real myopia of morality. He had no morality. He was evil and wicked and twisted. He's a sick fucking deviant who should be put on a cross. And in a better and more civilized time, he would have been.
And now he's back on Whippets. By the way, guys, this is not like a man.
There's still people giving this guy money.
There's
still people who want to hear his law takes and watch this shit.
And there's no, like, he had a stream where he's like, I fucked up. I was controlled by the fucking devil and drugs. And I'm heading to rehab. I'm doing this. It was, no, actually, alcohol isn't bad. Actually, and he's still doing Whippets. On break or when he's off camera, making a fool of everyone giving him money. Oh, his fingers are blue. He's gonna die soon. Isn't that great? The kids are in the next fucking room and they're gonna see his dead dad. There's
no remorse. There's no repentance.
No, at all.
There's no ownership of what this was and a commitment to do better. Instead, the guy's fingers are fucking blue from huffing galaxy gas constantly.
Yeah.
It's just
and his kids are going to walk in and see their dead dad. You're going to traumatize them.
The only reason the house might even be quasi-clean at this point is because there's government officials going in and out to ensure that it stays that fucking way. The moment that the community gets lax on this fucking cocksucker, it's going to all fall apart again. Thank God he has 5 years of probation ahead of him. It's going to be a long, hard 5 years for Kino.
Yeah, and keep doing those Whippets, bud. Keep doing those Whippets.
Great.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I really shouldn't have to care about your family more than you do. It surely shouldn't be the case.
He doesn't care. And the fact, again, that he's not remorseful about this is why I go, no, fuck this guy, and I hope he drops dead soon. Fuck him. Holy shit.
They begin photographing evidence inside Nick's streaming room. The room is far smaller than expected, and the condition is much worse than anything seen on stream. There are bottles of alcohol everywhere. The entire space is buried under hoarded junk, electronics, collectibles, and random gear. His 5 monitor setup and other equipment are visible, but everything around it is chaotic. The curated background people see during streams is a total facade. His whole life was a facade. Yeah. It was all lies.
Still is.
Nobody knew who this guy was. He lied to everybody. He was a total fucking charlatan. Oh, man. Now, there is a little bit of a discrepancy between this report and the other report, to be fair. One said there was 4 monitors, and the other one said that there were 5. But they both agreed on the filthiness of the fucking studio.
Yeah, I mean...
Listen to this, though. This is the last line. They go through a bag full of brown glass bottles, each one wrapped in tissues. Now, the speculation is that this is like the brown that Rekieta said was DMT. It kind of sounds like Jenkem to me. Kind of sounds like he was shitting and pissing in these bottles and allowing it to ferment into a toxic gas. Gives a whole other meaning to galaxy gas.
Wait. So hang on.
He was huffing too.
Let me just search this real fast.
I'm just
What
kidding,
is
but
a
who the fuck
brown
knows? Who the
bottle?
fuck knows?
Brown glass bottle wrapped in tissues. Let's see if there's any. Honestly, no, there's no like, there's no what.
I don't know. Nobody's ever heard of anything quite like that.
No, that's,
you know,
that's crazy.
When you stump Drugski about what it could be, you know you fucked up.
You know what? I'm like, wait, hang on.
Okay. 9:33. An officer enters and informs them cocaine was found in the bedroom where Kayla and April had come out of earlier. Briefing, confrontation, arrest from 9:33 to 10. 9:33. Some of the officers meet up in the entryway and brief each other on the situation. One mentions that Nick is trying to ask them the questions instead of answering theirs. Oh, wow. What does that remind everybody of? Yeah, no shit. Sounds just like Nick. Another officer says they need to get statements. Figure out who lives in the house and call family services. Audio was unclear due to background noise, so the dialogue here is paraphrased to the best of their ability.
May I also add here, look, when I partied and stuff, right? I partied with a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Everyone, not a single person that I partied with or had coke or sold it or were at a party or after hours type thing. No one was as disgusting as this. None of them. These are I'm talking about like drug addict partiers. This was unheard of. Like this is a crack den. This is not what like people who party at clubs and pop Molly and shit do. They don't go back and it's this.
It's like something out of a movie, like
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this. If I did, I'd be disgusted and I would never go back.
Officer Pomplon goes back into the master bedroom where officers are still going through the red fridge being used as a nightstand. Isn't that so trashy, by the way, using a fridge as a nightstand?
You know?
I know that's a small point here, but holy. He then heads outside to talk to Nick for the first time. Oh, this will be great. Pomplon tells Nick, we want to ask you some questions, a quick interview. We want to get an idea of the layout of the house, where the nanny is at, and who all stays here. The nanny's long gone. This ain't her fault. Nick immediately pushes back and asks, what's your probable cause? And Pomplon says, you have the search warrant. Sophomore, you know he was fucking boiling. You know he wanted to take a swing on the officer right then and there, you know. Nick stands there with his arms crossed. He's calm, but he looks like shit. I'm glad we got that detail. We all know he looks like shit because we saw the mugshot.
Yeah.
But we appreciate the pettiness of the reporter. He says, cool, you have no probable cause. Well, that wouldn't hold up in court. Pomplon asks, are you willing to talk with me? And then Nick responds, sure. So all of those times he advised people to invoke their Fifth Amendment and not talk to the police, he immediately caved on it. And then adds, you still have no probable cause. Pomplon says, I'm not discussing that. You've been given the search warrant. You know how this works.
He was probable cause.
Sorry, I just got a message from the Josh phone.
I'm assuming. Go ahead.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say what he said or not. So
ask him if it's cool before you.
Yeah, he might be listening. Nick has read his Miranda rights. They begin questioning him about the children and other adults in the home. Okay, he says it's good. So Kiwi Farms has now officially intervened in the criminal case to oppose the judge's last order, removing the footage from evidence. The fire rises.
What the fuck?
We'll see what happens. But Josh is fighting it. He's trying to still get this footage.
Let's go.
So that there can
go,
be
Josh.
No
go, Josh.
fighting. What's done in the dark will come to the light, Rackets. All right. Pomplon confirms Kayla is his wife and then asks about the other woman. It's kind of awkward. So that's your wife, right? Yeah. Who's this other floozy in the low-cut top? Nick gives April's name and says she's a friend. He says she does not reside there. Well, you know, her credit cards with the Coke on top and her purse in there and, you know, her shoes.
Shoes upstairs. Yeah.
Kind of, you know, the shoes aren't at the front door. They're at the top of the stairs. Kind of indicates she lives there. You know what I'm saying? But okay. All right. I think Kayla and April's story was she was the nanny, which.
You know, I'm just picturing right now that Kandiyoshi, Ohio, or County.
Ohio? Yeah.
Kandiyoshi County now has to deal with kiwi farms. You know, they're like,
the battle continues. I mean, that might be part of the reason they weren't wanting to hand over the fucking footage in the first place. But, you know, it would have been easier had they just handed it over. Because now this keeps going, and it's like a sword of Damocles over Rekieta's head. When is it going to drop? Is it going to drop? Is it like, I don't know. It's time to just get this shit over with. People have seen the footage. They've written down what's in the footage. Let's just see the footage.
Ash, have you ever seen someone A-log a city? An entire city?
No, actually.
It's actually pretty wild.
You know, it's not. It's an entire county, actually.
The county, the county, yeah.
So Pomplon tells him she came out of the bedroom, and Rekieta replies, "Okay, so she came out of the bedroom." And Pomplon says, "When I have people over, they don't go in my bedroom." Nick snaps, "I don't give a shit what you do." Oh, I want to see this. Oh, I want to see this. Oh, man, I want to see this. Pomplon stays calm and says, "I'm just asking questions." You know that made Rocket seize. Just like a lawyer, I'm just asking questions.
Nick, you're not. You're making statements. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Oh, buddy, we gotta get this shit.
Please, Josh,
Get this
please.
footage.
Oh my God.
You gotta find a way, buddy. Nick tells him, okay, go ahead. Pomplon asks, "Where do you stay in the residence?" And Nick says, "All over. It's my house." And then Pomplon asks, "Do you stay in the master bedroom?"
Except for there. Except for there.
Oh, let's see what he says. Nick says, "When I'm in there, I stay in there, sure." And Pomplon asks, "Is that where you sleep at night?" And Nick says, "Yes." Pomplon goes, "That's all I needed to know." Brilliant legal mind, Nick Rekieta immediately gives the officer everything he needed. You sleep there? Yeah. Well, should have used your Fifth Amendment, buddy. He then asks, "Do you want to tell me where things are in the house to help expedite the search?" And Nick says, "Where what things are?" And Pomplon replies, "You saw the warrant. We're looking for controlled substances." Nick says, "I'm not admitting to anything. That's ridiculous. You still have no probable cause." Pomplon says, "We're going to be searching the house, and we're going to be contacting family services."
By the way, I have an
I'm
update.
on the edge of my seat for what Rekieta is going to say next.
I have quite a small pause here. Okay, here we go. Heroin can be sold in brown bottles. This is particularly true for brown powder heroin, which is less refined than its white counterpart. Color of brown heroin is the result of impurities remaining from the manufacturing process. It is important to note that heroin can appear in various forms of colors. So the brown bottles may have been heroin.
I just want to point out, all the testing they did on it was inconclusive.
Okay.
Rekieta's claim about it is it's DMT. I don't know what the fuck it was.
It's heroin. I'm saying it's heroin. Track marks, remember?
I don't. Well, that's what they were
allegedly,
saying.
in my
at
opinion.
The church, and then the officers are saying, "Be careful for needles."
Allegedly. I think this guy was doing some H.
It's speculation, and I don't think it's totally unfounded, because when you look at the motherfucker, he certainly looked like he might have been on heroin. All right, let's go to the next one.
Wouldn't you say that that it was DMT instead of heroin? Less embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's less embarrassing.
No needles were found in the house. So that is one thing that kind of
Smoking
counts
it.
against. I kind of believe Rekieta that it was DMT. I don't really think he should have fucking said anything, though, to be honest.
All right. Here we go.
Nick asks, why? Pomplon says, because we've already found cocaine in the house. This would be in a Gym Can't Swim. This is like a movie, bro.
It wasn't
so
DMT.
Sorry.
I've had friends who've done DMT. It's a powder.
Okay.
You smoke it out of a pipe.
Nick just stares at him. I want to see this stare. I want to see the look on Rekieta's face when he realizes it all came crumbling down and they found the cocaine. Sir, they found the cocaine. The second Baldo has hit the tower, sir.
Not always starts. Yes, it is, idiot.
Oh, boy. Pomplon's adds, we're not here on a whim. Nick says, yes, you are. Pomplon says, no, we're not. Nick says, yes, you are. This is like a blood sport, buddy. This is Rekieta, a man in his 40s, supposed white-collar professional lawyer, having a pissing match, childish argument with a cop in his driveway. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Like, what a fucking loser.
Yeah, it's like childish. It's pure childish,
But, like,
man.
imagine, like, Rekieta actually thought him saying that would change anything. Like, just shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
The process is going to happen how it's going to happen. And the reality is every single thing you say can and will be used against you, Rackets, which you should know, considering you're supposedly a lawyer. Fuck.
We found coke already. So, yeah, so what? What do you mean, so what? We need Nick to stare at him in the face. He can't just walk away from this. Going, it's weird. It's stupid. It's weird. It's weird. Shame. End him. Here we go. Pomplon tells him.
We came here looking for controlled substances. We were only in the house about 10 minutes and already found some.
Whoa.
Nick responds, I don't know anything about it. Nick says something about family services and mentions the grandparents. Pomplon tells him that's most likely what will happen, but family services has to be involved. We'll put them with a family member if we can.
Ooh.
Here, this is Kino. There was an AI image, an AI recreation of this. In fact, there's been a lot of AI recreations of moments from the Bodycam. This one, Rekieta actually tweeted out himself, thinking it was cool. So if you go to Rekieta's Twitter, you might be able to pull up the recreation of this scene.
Okay.
Nick and April are both handcuffed in the driveway, facing each other.
Uh-huh.
It's almost cinematic. April is looking at him with a pouty face and puppy dog eyes. She's wearing black cutoff shorts and a black long sleeve crop top. As Nick is being walked to the squad car, he tells the officer, I hope you catch gonorrhea and die.
Wow. Oh my God. We need this video.
We need the body cam footage. How cringe, bro. It's not the officer's fault that you had all this cocaine in your fucking house, bro. It's not the officer's fault.
Oh my God.
Oh, man. Before putting him in the vehicle, they stopped to photograph the sores on his arms. He has a lot of them.
Oh, it's not heroin, though.
Nick asks, are you going to arrest my wife, too? And Pomplon hits him with, yes. But we're going to have her stay here and stay with the kids until family services and the grandparents get here. Nick is visibly seething. That's good. Ooh, that's good. That's what they call chicken soup for the soul.
Nick is visibly seething.
Pompon says, I'll come and talk to you when you're done at the jail. The audio was unclear and due to the background, so I couldn't make out Nick's response. That's tough. Pompon then walks away from Nick and over to April. He introduces himself, explains what's going to happen, tells her she's going to jail, and asks if she has any questions and whether she's been Mirandized. April says, no, but I want to ask. And Pompon immediately interrupts to confirm she has been read her Miranda rights. She has. So there goes Rekieta's whole, April was never Mirandized. No, she was. He begins asking her questions. Pompon, how long have you been here? Not that long. Maybe a month. Liar! I'm trying to find my own place. Pompon goes, so you've been living here? April goes, yep.
No!
Oh,
Rekieta,
no!
bros! Rekieta, bros! Lying to a police officer?
Oh, no wonder he tried to get her testimony excluded, saying she hadn't been Mirandized because she just blew the whole thing wide open. Yep, I stay in the sunroom a lot. I've known the family for quite a while. Pompon goes, you came out of the bedroom with Kayla, right? April goes, yes. Pompon goes, you were hanging out in there? April goes, yes. Brutal. Pompon goes, what were you doing in there? Kayla was sleeping and I was changing clothes. April was so dumb. So dumb.
Changing
Pompon
clothes.
tells her they're executing a narcotic search warrant. April shakes her head no, as if she's confused, in disbelief, or pretending not to understand. Another officer asks, you were changing clothes in there? April, yes. He follows up, you keep stuff in there? April, yes.
No!
No! They're cooked!
Oh my God!
Oh, they're cooked. At that point, another officer walks up holding 2 pairs of shoes. He puts one pair down on the ground. April looks at them and says, those aren't mine. The officer apologizes and says, sorry, there's a lot. So there's just like all sorts of shoes just scattered all over the fucking place.
Oh.
April looks at the other pair still in his hand and says, those are mine. He places them on the ground. They're slip-on sandals with straps. April tries to put them on while handcuffed as they continue to ask her questions. They ask where she sleeps when she's staying at the house. April says, sometimes I stay in the sunroom. There's a couch in there. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. So sometimes I sleep next to Kayla on the bed.
Oh my God.
What a disaster.
Man.
She interrupts to ask for help putting on her sandals. The officer bends down, helps her get them on her feet. When he finishes, the audio becomes harder to understand. One of the officers says something about the controlled substance search warrant and adds, I'll let you think about that. April shakes her head no again, clearly overwhelmed or confused. They tell her she's being charged with a 5th-degree felony controlled substance offense. April reacts, oh my God. The officer says, we'll go from there. Any questions for me? April responds, no, I wouldn't know what to ask. Like I said, this is scary. Well, maybe you should have thought about that before you started sleeping with a married man for crumbs of cocaine.
Just like a novel, bro. I'm on the edge of my seat.
It really is.
Crazy.
You don't really know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, this is actually fucking amazing. We need a fucking novelist to write this out, but holy shit.
He tells her, we'll meet up later and try to make it more clear for you. Kayla refuses to speak. That's why you wifed her up, and then you're with this fucking stupid bitch, Rockets. Fuck. A female cop says Kayla refuses to speak without her attorney present. Kayla and the kids are still sitting on the ground against the house behind the cop. Kayla is sitting with her head on her oldest daughter's shoulder. It's a heartbreaking scene.
Oh
Didn't have-
my gosh.
As Officer Plon is walking away, I hear the female cop say, "I'm going to try and get her some clothes." It's unclear who she was referring to. I think that's the child that wanted a change of clothes.
Oh man.
As Officer Pomplon walks through the disgusting house, you can hear him let out a huge sigh as he looks at everything. He puts on some gloves. As he gets into the bedroom, he asks, "Are we still going through things in here?" The reporter says they had a hard time understanding all of the audio as the dog is barking loudly in the background.
There's a dog barking. There's dirt everywhere. People are crying in handcuffs. The kids are laying on the or are leaning on the wall of the house.
I just want to point out, we're not even halfway through this transcript.
Buddy, can we put him in jail ourselves?
The officer goes back to his car to get something. He drinks some Mountain Dew and gets some snuff. I guess when you see this fucking shit, you just need a Mountain Dew. I don't know. I think
sugary
he needed
drink.
a stiff whiskey, but after looking at the fucking place, he's like, maybe I'll stop drinking whiskey. Someone says something about the house being huge. He heads back to his car again, looking for something, couldn't see what it was. On his way back in, one of the other cops is talking to the kids, trying to make them comfortable. After he gets inside, again, the audio is hard to understand between background noises, radio chatter, and the dog barking. The dog is in the bathroom with a baby gate up. Oh, this is the pug that's forced to shit in the bathroom because he locks the pug in there for days at a time.
Yeah.
You can hear a conversation about drugs, firearms, finding 22 casings. Officer Pomplon starts writing down a list of the evidence that's found. Okay, let's just...
Yeah, more snort tubes, bags, basically the same as the last.
This is the same thing. All of this evidence of the glass vial, the credit cards with April's name, is from the top of the cock fridge / nightstand, which is covered in a bunch of miscellaneous junk, like a Celsius can, a couple of candles. What the fuck? A spray bottle of something, maybe lube, and an unframed picture of Nick and Kayla laying on top of other junk.
That's sad. The old picture of when they were like not on drugs, like holding each other
together, and they were raising the kids.
It's not even
building
framed.
A life together. Oh my god! One of the officers picks up a bottle of pills and says something like, "I found one of the kids' prescriptions right next to the cocaine. It has the name Celeste on it. The cops are mistaken. Celeste is Nick's mom. Is she giving him drugs or did he steal them?" Those are pretty much the only two explanations for that. They look at 2 casino player cards with Nick and Kayla's name on them. Stop! It's the meme magic!
Stop!
No way!
2 casino Joker cards
with Nick and Kayla's names on them. And the officer Jim Felt also? Come on! And they take pictures of them. A cop pulls a paper bag out of the armoire and starts taking the stuff out of it. It sounds like he said something about a meth pipe.
Ooh.
A meth pipe. And then the other cop asks if they're used. He says this one looks dirty unless it's brown glass.
Uh-oh. Brown bottles, brown pipe, or brown vial of
You can hear a cop say something about 2 spent 22 shell casings on the floor. The dog is still barking incessantly. Officer Pomplon finally says, "We've got to do something about that dog." 9:58, Officer Pomplon documents in his report the big gun that was found under the bed. 10 in the morning, Pomplon continues processing and logging the evidence.
Okay.
There's movement and chatter as the officers go through items. It's a mix of searching, bagging, and documenting. The audio is difficult to hear. One of the officers says they found edibles. Another holds up what looks like a grinder and says it contains a white powder. So they're crushing up pills in a grinder, most likely, right?
Mm-hmm.
They say they're going to test it. You can hear a child back in the house.
Or coke rocks.
Yeah, it could be coke rocks. You're right.
Yep. There we go.
You can hear a child back in the house. Second safe, drugs inside, family services update. 10:02 a.m. He is documenting more evidence, metal container, 2 glass ones with powder. Female comes in asking about taking something to the jail for Kayla. One of the officers finds something under the bed. Officer Pomplon asks, "What's that?" It sounds like the other officer says something about a Supreme Court unclear word license. Okay.
Okay. Muffled audio.
He asked the other cops, "Did you see Nick's arms? Track marks all down."
Okay. How much evidence do I have to present to the fucking jury before you all believe me that it's fucking heroin? For real.
He says, be cognizant. You were right about it being cocaine, and everybody, including me, doubted you, so who knows? He says, be cognizant of the possibility of finding needles, and then says they could be sores. They mention they passed Nick in his car on the way to the house. Another cop comes in and says they're interviewing Mom right now. Pomplon says, we're going to be a while. They discuss areas they want to search thoroughly. Master bedroom, 2 studios, and the inner and outer vault/studio area. He calls the studio Nick's lair.
Holy fuck. Holy Ash. This is like ridiculous.
Of course it's ridiculous.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is insane.
They discuss what cops will be doing what and what to search. Officer Pomplon says, we need to do our due diligence for the kids, doing all we can. At least somebody was thinking about them. May not have been their mother or their father or anybody else that was in their lives, but this officer is. They are waiting for the kids and the dogs to be picked up. They are splitting the cops up, 3 upstairs and others in the areas. 10:07 a.m. They discuss April's purse, ID. They left it because there was cash in it. Officer Pomplon leaves 3 cops searching the bedroom. He starts walking toward the front door. He says something about a lot of stuff being in the studio. You can see Kayla with what appears to be 2 family service workers at the front door.
If this were a movie script, you would tell the writer, the screenplay writer, you'd be like, could you tone it down? This is too much. This is too fake. This is crazy.
It's very theatrical, isn't it?
It is. It's really well.
There's nothing that's ever been like this in Candy-Ojai County.
Ever.
They've never seen anything like this in all their fucking lives, all their years of police work in the county. And that's part of the reason why they're suppressing this shit for Nick, at least in my opinion. Because they don't want people to get the idea, because this would be the only idea most people ever have about how their county is. And that's why they don't want tourism to go down. They don't want property values to go down. They don't want the community's reputation to be tarnished. And then you have wealthy members of the community like Rekieta's parents who are also pushing and pressuring for it not to be coming out. And they probably have friends that are wealthy and well-connected who are leaning on the people in Candy-Ojai County to not let this out also. As he goes into Nick's studio, he passes through a small library-type room with lots of books and random things on the bookshelves. Actually, I skipped a part, it really makes it chilling. He goes downstairs. It looks like a family room with a fireplace, arcade games, a drum set, other kids' stuff. Just remember, there were kids present throughout all of this.
Yeah.
That's what's so disturbing about it. If this was just 2 or 3 random junkies shacking up and doing drugs, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But there were 5 kids present. That's what makes this so depraved. Okay.
Streaming room. Someone mentions vials and something about homemade whiskey.
No.
Was that the brown bottles? Was the brown bottles homemade whiskey? Officer Pomplum opens up Ziploc bag and pulls out a small box that looks like it has a picture of food on it.
So he wasn't eating food, but he would look at the picture of food for sustenance. Not really sure. But... Okay. It looks to me like something you'd get out of the frozen food section. Then he pulls out different vials. One has a brown substance in it, and he says one of them has brine written on it. He says another one looks like it has whole pepper in it and comments that it's weird. He pulls out a bag of seeds. Again, they say something about it possibly being for homemade whiskey. They weren't fucking making whiskey. They didn't have the fucking mind to be able to make whiskey. Fuck.
They probably thought they were going to.
Oh my God.
They were probably like, we're going to make whiskey, but they probably never finished it.
Officer Pomplon starts going through a pile of papers. He looks at a handwritten letter. I took notes on it because it was weird and confusing. It was about a father and a daughter and said things like, a dad admits selfishness in crisis. A dad getting all the shit, but no praise. And the daughter practiced her song just for dad?
You know what this is like? It's like when you find a note in Silent Hill as like
no, it really is.
A background, lore building.
So the next line is kind of similar to that. After Googling, I found out it's about a South Korean horror film called Train to Busan.
Okay.
Weird shit, just documenting to be thorough. The next piece of paper is a letter from the county, the Department of Environmental Services. It's something about building a shed or something. The next thing is a signed anime pic that looks exactly like this. It's signed, "Here's looking at you, Nick."
Are you Nicky? Are you Nicky?
Here's looking at you, Nicky. It has a lipstick lip print on it. Like that. And says, P.S. Look here, with an arrow pointing to the button area of his shirt. I tried to do an AI version. This is the best I could do. Next is a piece of unopened certified mail to Kayla with writing on the envelope. He then finds a cardboard box with question marks drawn on it in marker.
What?
He opens it, and inside there's a ton of shredded paper. He rummages through it and finds something that he thinks might have been a big mushroom. He asks the other cop, and the cop says no. Officer Pomplom smells it and puts it back. I wouldn't have smelled it, bro.
Wait.
Oh my God. There's
He's
just
got
mushrooms growing in fucking random boxes of ripped paper.
He has a Riddler box?
It's confusing.
Okay.
It wasn't visible on the camera for very long. We got to get to the bottom of this. We need to see the footage.
Super Mario box?
It's crazy.
Super Mario mushroom
Yeah,
box?
no, you're right. That is what it is. Another cop comes in. He has a safe he found under the bathroom sink in the master bathroom. It's a briefcase type safe that's locked, but it has part of a baggie hanging out. Gee, I wonder how the 9-year-old could have got exposed to cocaine, guys.
Yeah. And by the way, this matches with the previous statements. The downstairs safe with the baggie sticking. It literally matches word for word.
They were able to test the part that was sticking out, and it tested positive for
there
cocaine.
There you go.
Great. The officer leaves to go look and ask for the key. He gets a quick phone call, then asks Kayla for the key. She is with the 2 family service workers. He tells her, we need the key or we're going to have to break it open. She says she doesn't know where it is.
By the way, you have a safe and you have the part with cocaine sticking out of it when you lock it?
Well, you know, he tries to tell, I was so responsible. The cocaine was in the safe. Well, we knew there were bullets now all around the house with cocaine. Cocaine on the fucking bedside table. Cocaine hanging outside of the briefcase safe.
All visible.
The pillow tested positive for cocaine. Okay? So, come on, Rekieta. It's pretty obvious what went on, man. The cops walk behind the vehicles and break open the safe with what looks like a pry bar and mallet. The safe is full of drugs, paraphernalia, baggies. They take a photo. Let's get it to a better location. On their way back into the house, Another officer mentions that the grandparents are on their way. The grandparents must have known it was like this.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
They take the safe to a small bathroom, place it on the toilet, and open it. There's a bag that says KKK on the outside. They surmise it's ketamine.
Ketamine.
Okay.
Oh.
Ketamine. There's a digital scale, snort tubes, metal piece, looks like a crack pipe. Another metal item that looks like a spoon without a handle. He asks for another cop and says, "This is insane." Yeah, no shit. yeah, no shit, man. Holy fuck, you walk into the house of horrors. Holy fuck. I thought this guy was supposed to be rich. Fuck.
This is insane.
He says he thinks one is ketamine and the bites are either Molly or LSD. They start documenting the evidence. There's the baggie that was sticking out of the safe, which tested positive for cocaine. There are also some cards and a rolled up dollar bill. They find a large corner cut with white powder. There are Ziploc bags containing smaller bags. One of them has KKK written on it. Another Ziploc contains multiple small bags with powder. They find a digital scale. Metal penner container, 2 snort tubes, 2 cutters.
Mm-hmm.
Officer Pomplon goes back into the studio. A cop tells them they didn't search the stuff that's covered in dust since it obviously hasn't been touched recently. Shit's covered in fucking dust. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
thick layers of dust. One of them says there's a lot of weird stuff down there, like a bunch of pencil shavings. So there's just piles of fucking pencil shavings in this guy's office, just living like a fucking animal.
Oh.
One of them says there's a lot of weird stuff down. Okay, Pomplon says this is his hangout. I can't hear what the other cop says, but Pomplon responds, because you can't do it with your girlfriend and wife, I guess. I don't know. You know, they're just fucking baffled. They don't even like, what's going on. Like, sure, like they're just they're like, I guess the concept of a polycule / cuckery hasn't reached the blessed fucking streets of Candy-Ojai County yet. It's like, surely you either have to be fucking the wife or the mistress. You can't be fucking both the wife and the mistress. Well, you'd be wrong, guys. You'd be dead wrong. He's searching through the artwork that's leaning against the wall, including the cat painting.
Okay.
You can see a close-up of a lot of stuff that's behind Nick when he's streaming. They find a container or box of something and say it looks like cornstarch inside.
What?
He starts going through Nick's collectibles, opening boxes, looking inside. He says there aren't other safes. A family service worker asks about collecting electronics for the kids and says they're going to grandma's.
Wow.
Officer Pomplon goes into a room where there are a lot of clothing racks with clean clothes hanging up. Well, that's a surprise. Maybe Rekieta will show us just that part of the body cam. Tell us it's all okay.
See,
I don't know.
guys, see?
I think that might be the only part we get to see. Kayla's in there with the family service workers gathering clothes for the kids. The officer asks about getting electronics for them. Officer Pomplon goes to the garage. He finds out there's another safe and gets the equipment to break it open. I didn't realize there were this many fucking safes. They open it. Inside, there are guns and ammo.
Okay.
He takes pictures of all the guns and the rest of the contents. One of the cops starts looking around at all the boxes and totes of stuff. He asks how long they've been living there. Officer Pomplon says, a while. The other cop says it looks like they have half unpacked boxes from moving. Pomplon says it might be April stuff. She said she's only been here for a month.
My God. And that matches the other camera stuff.
Someone walks through with the dog on a leash. Okay. Was that April? Or an officer comes in and says there's another safe in the master bedroom closet. Officer Pomplon asks him to bring it out to the garage. They bring it in and break it open. Inside, there are Ziploc baggies, a rolled up $100 bill with white paper, rolling papers, a lot of THC cartridges, a scooper, and a small funnel.
Small funnel confirmed.
The fourth safe?
Yep, small funnel confirmed. There you go.
They're not sure what some of it is, but suspect fentanyl. Oh my God. Oh my God. What the fuck, buddy?
This is worse than I thought. This is 10 times worse than I thought it was. This is crazy. 18 safes in Silent Hill style houses.
They take pictures of it all. They leave the THC cartridges, don't put them into evidence. They say they'll test everything else at the station. Officer Pomplon starts documenting all the evidence. Drugs, paraphernalia, guns, and ammo. He lists them all out, including the serial numbers on the guns. They discuss needing to do a basic sweep of the kids' rooms and other bathrooms.
10:47.
Kayla's mom arrives to pick up the kids and the dog. You see the kids during this interaction. Kayla walks in shortly after, looking strung out. She's wearing a backless shirt, and you can see all of her back tattoos.
You're a mother.
Oh, my God.
You're a mother.
Well, she ain't any sort of mother.
No, I mean, like, allegedly. Allegedly.
Who knows if she even birthed these kids at this point, the monster that she is. They come across the box with April's name on it. They open it and inspect the contents. They start going through the kitchen cabinets, focusing especially on the one with all the pills and medicine. They think they found needles, but realize they're actually syringes without needles, the kind used for administering liquid medication.
Okay.
They do a final quick sweep of the house. Officer Pomplon goes back into the master bedroom walk-in closet with another officer who debriefs him on where they found previous evidence like the bullet and the other safe. The other cop is in the back of the closet looking at a shelf saying there are all kinds of THC vapes and adult stuff.
Oh!
And it's at that moment they came face to face with the Baldo.
The Baldo?
the source of all the horror and decay that they witnessed that day. Little did they know. You can almost imagine the officer looking at it and going, Baldo, eh? Like, you can't see it from Pomplon's point of view, but it's clear these items are out in the open, easily visible, and accessible to anyone who walks in, including the kids.
Okay,
so we know
what?
The kids were in there because there's stuffed animals in there and stuff. So the kids saw all of their degenerate sex toys. Anytime they went, great, good job, guys.
Fucking joke.
Arrest them again.
This is too much.
Oh my God.
Too much.
They announce that everyone else is gone and they start collecting all of their stuff. One of them brings up the incident where Nick threw the warrant on the ground. God, I would love to hear that. They all laughed at him for throwing it down. They all leave at 11.
9/11 till 11.
Oh, there's more.
Additional personal
observations. The house has a very weird layout. The location of the master bedroom is especially concerning.
Oh.
It is very close to the main communal areas, making it easy for kids to overhear things they shouldn't, like sex noises, arguments, and other adult conversations or activities. The messiest and most hoarded areas of the house are the ones the adults spend the most time in. So the children were actually better stewards of the house than their parents. Their areas were cleaner and better looked after than their middle-aged parents. Right. The streaming setup is highly curated. What viewers see on camera is a complete illusion. Behind the scenes, it's filthy, cramped, and chaotic.
Oh my gosh.
Not all of the drugs and paraphernalia are hidden. Some were left out in the open, in areas kids could easily access if they are the inquisitive type, including the master bedroom, bathroom, and closet. It is heavy and honestly heartbreaking to witness the conditions the kids and animals have been living in. The filth, the chaos, the presence of drugs and weapons create an environment no child or pet should be subjected to. The dog lives confined to a bathroom.
Stop!
It's true.
That's so
Rekieta,
sad.
Yeah, they confine the dog in the bathroom where he pees and poos on the floor. That's It's honest, as Rekieta's told us.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like seeing it all in one go. It's a bit too much, honestly. It's making me a little pissed off and sad.
Well, me too. At least one cat was seen in the home, and the children, they were not just caught in the middle of a search. They have been living in this every day. You can feel the weight of that reality in almost every frame of the footage.
Folks, he needs to pay, bro.
Well, they belong in prison. Like Rekieta, and the thing is, Rekieta's going to end up in prison. Even basic things like clothing and mail were scattered randomly. Important documents were mixed in with fan art, trash, and drug gear. Nothing was organized, and there was no sense of separation between adult items and areas where kids lived and played. Finding Nick's mom's prescription bottle alongside the cocaine and paraphernalia raises bigger questions about his parents' role in all of this. Are they enabling it? Turning a blind eye? Actively involved? At the very least, it points to a serious lack of boundaries. At worst, it suggests a generational pattern of dysfunction that these kids are sadly now caught up in. It's also worth noting the behavior of the officers throughout the search. They were patient, respectful, and professional from start to finish.
This is actually not gonna lie.
Despite the overwhelming filth, drug presence, and emotional weight of the scene, they kept their personal commentary to a minimum. They didn't mock or escalate. In fact, given everything they encountered, it's notable how restrained they were. While the search could have been even more thorough, it would have taken significantly longer, and they seemed focused on securing the most critical evidence while minimizing disruption to the children who were present. Holy fuck, man.
Fuck you, Rekieta. You're a monster. Honestly, like
he really is.
Honestly, like that actually was getting to me a little bit while you were reading it. Like, also, it's very like.
Well, there were a couple moments I was reading it where I don't know if people could notice, but I actually was like, "Oh fuck, this is really bad."
I almost started tearing up at the end. Near the end, I'm like, okay, don't cry on camera. Like, I was getting upset.
It's actually like really, really bad. The first report was not painted as vividly as the second report, which was from Officer Pamplan's perspective. This person really nailed portraying what they saw.
That last portion, yeah.
I really just want to see this in the hopes that it's not that bad, in the hopes that, well, maybe these were biased Kiwi farmers who framed the fucking guy. But Rekieta won't clear him and his family's names because it's honestly probably even worse than how this person described it.
Yeah.
If we were allowed to go through it frame by frame by frame in the way that we go through it and zoom in and pause and analyze every single aspect, which they did not have the luxury of doing at the courthouse. They weren't able to pause or rewind. We would probably uncover even more depraved shit, even more concerning things. But, you know, it's almost a good thing that we don't have to. Like, personally, for me, I don't really know at this point if I actually want to see this shit.
I'd actually like, I'm not gonna lie, when you're reading that last portion and just like the way he described it and how you were reading it and sort of like the realization that this isn't even fucking funny. Like, it's not funny. Like, we're laughing, make jokes, we're a comedy show and we felt people, but it's not fucking funny at all.
No, it's really not. And, you know, there are parts of it that are funny, like Rekieta seething at the cops,
of course,
the warrant on the ground. But then, like, you're reading, the kids are huddled around their mother, they're crying, the one child's clutching a cat for comfort.
Bro, you have sex toys besides the kids?
And I guarantee you, some of these details hit really close to home for people who've been through abuse and been through traumatic events like this. You know, like, this isn't like fun stuff.
Yeah.
This is very dark, twisted fucking stuff.
I think the funny part of all this was he was caught because it's like, haha, fuck you. But Ash, he's got pipes and coke and sex toys on a shelf where kids are walking by.
I
Dildos and baldos and fucking coke.
I just think the system has failed. When there's any opportunity whatsoever for this guy to have this wiped clean from his record, this should be a permanent stain on his record.
Yeah.
He should never be allowed to pretend like this didn't happen. And if the body cam footage is released, he can never, ever pretend like this didn't happen. If he completes the 5 years of probation, legally it will be as though none of this ever happened. And I think that that's fucking bullshit. But the good news is he's not completing those 5 years of probation. This motherfucker, I guarantee you, will be seeing the inside of a jail cell by the end of the summer. I don't think he's getting a deferment on his August jail time. Certainly not with the way he's been acting in recent weeks. And even if by some miracle he does get a deferment on that August jail time, there's no doubt in my mind that by the end of this year, he will have failed a drug test and he will be in a cell, like the animal that he is, getting the treatment that he deserves. To be honest, he deserves a lot worse than a cell. He deserves to be dead.
A B in the back of the H. But this body cam footage has to be. It's so bad that they're just like, this is like a horror movie. And we don't want this horror movie being like the stain of our fucking city. Josh, I'm fucking rooting for you, bro. I'm not gonna hold my breath because it just seems like that there's like everything's against us.
Somebody brought this up in chat. Ralph hasn't even done this.
Yeah, exactly. Ash.
This is lower than anything Ralph has fucking done.
Buddy, I used to party with people on the fucking coke, at the party and this, that, da, da, da. Their houses weren't like this. Maybe a bit messy dishes, but there wasn't fucking hoarder house. This is beyond. This is crazier. I watch a lot of like eWoo and Bodycam footage, right? Like for entertainment purposes. This is like 0.1% of those footage. Like the worst murderers don't keep their house like this. Can we fucking like?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people who if you watch hoarders, there are houses like that, right?
Yeah.
And some of them have kids in them and shit like that. But there's really no excuse for the Rekietas. They had the resources and they had the opportunities in life to avoid this. They really did.
I don't want to sound gay or anything, but that I think it was the way you were reading it too, and I was visualizing it. That last few paragraphs, I was like starting to like well up a little bit, and I'm like, oh man, I want to punch him.